No, unfortunately not. I'm stopping by my favorite restaurant in Kansas. No, I when I'm home, especially in summertime, all I do is grill. I try not to cook anything else, but just throw some meat on the barbecue and just have at it. Well, so it's a very small mom and pop restaurant that's been open since 1917. Um, hey, Z-Rock. And so it is a, they got 3 tables. The owners can barely speak English. And I mean, it's just that's why I say it's really home cooking because it takes them about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour for you to get your food. But once you get it, hey, Tigger, what's up? Beautiful. Uh, yeah, it's really good. Well, well, well. Look who is here. Good evening or good afternoon. Oh, we're starting off like that, huh?
I I came here late. I thought that if I should see, look, this is bullshit. I think Amanda's doing the same thing. I was trying to be the last one here, so all the small talk would be out of the way. And it looks like everybody else was playing the exact same game, which sucks. So
Listen,
Jen's,
we don't
I'm
have to do
assuming
no.
Jen's going to show up later
You have
too.
somebody in queue. Do you want me to accept them up?
Oh hell yeah, no small talk.
Yep, there you go. All right, go for it.
Papa Murph, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Are you a Trump supporter, or did you vote for Trump?
I did, sir.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. So the way this works is very simple. The guy right below me, RTP, he likes to debate on the what I call the left, and so I hope that you dog walk him. That's my hope. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, just pick a topic and just kind of just go along with it, and you guys have fun. The only time that Amanda and I will kind of chime in is either one of you guys get out of pocket. That's when we'll come in and we'll kind of,
The fuck up.
pretty much. So is there anything that's kind of piquing your interest that you want to discuss?
Well, I can tell you the reasons, or if you like.
Gotcha.
I was a single issue voter. However, there are other things that he's done that I like. The issue that I was keen on was his SCOTUS picks. The first go around, I thought he did some excellent choices, and they've lived up to what they said they were going to do for the most part. And then the second go around, Alito has talked about retirement. Thomas has said he's going to retire. And Sotomayor is getting up there in age, so he very well might have to nominate a few more. And so I voted on him because I like the justice's interpretation of the Constitution through an originalist lens. That was my primary reason.
And of course, when you say like originalist, you mean just like conservative, right?
No, I mean not necessarily that. No, I do not mean that.
So how would you, if with this court, if you're saying originalist, how would you take like multiple precedents on Roe v. Wade, for example, and then suddenly, after all that precedent, suddenly this court decides, never mind, the exact opposite?
Well, stare decisis is not the end all be all for law. I think we can all
wait. What?
It's the legal term for precedent. It's like when the SCOTUS like does argue, so stare decisis. It's Latin. It's like the term they use. It means that which has been decided. It's usually what people say.
Great, but what I'm asking you is like why would that be originalist if all these other people set it as precedent, and they also claim to be originalists, what would make overturning it an originalist argument?
Yeah. So originalism looks at the public meaning of the amendment or the Constitution at the time they were written by the people who wrote it. And so if you look at something like Roe v. Wade and you look at the 14th Amendment where it was parked, you can't justify putting Roe v. Wade under the 14th Amendment. And just hear me out before you rebuke. I'm not the only person that believed this. RBG was an ardent advocate against Roe v. Wade. She wanted it to be codified in Congress because she also knew it had nothing to do with the 14th Amendment.
So you're saying that, so you like the originalist, like that whatever the definition was at the time when they wrote it, that's the definition you think we should go with?
It's not necessary. Well, okay. I think we agree. It's just I get hung up on the term definition. I don't want the bait and switch with that. Well, it's like
I'm going to be honest. This isn't a bait and switch. I think that's fucking stupid. I think it is so stupid to use a definition from 150 years ago when we could have an updated definition. That's a weird way to live life. It's like what the Amish do. They just don't update anything. That's a weird way to read the Constitution.
Wait. That's not. It's a good way to read the Constitution. I think we both could agree that it's a good way to read the Constitution.
Sure,
if we were to take this in light of this.
Bad way to interpret probably. Is what
it's not, and this is why.
No, I'm just saying that's what I meant instead of like.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a silly way to interpret it.
Well, hear me out. I feel like it's not only the correct way to interpret it. I think it's the appropriate way to interpret it from the perspective of the layperson. I'll tell you why. Because let's say you have an issue, and maybe if you're a liberal in the way that I think you are, you probably have an issue with the right to bear arms from the position, right?
No.
So
I'm pretty pro Second Amendment.
So you do think that they should interpret it as the framers referenced it?
No, because the way the framers reference it, like if we're going to take all those words, I think the originalist explanation for that would be like, hey, if you're a member of a militia, and so we've had to, because obviously we're not members of militia, so we've updated that over time to keep it up to date with where we're at now. That would be an argument for me. That's why I'm okay with Second Amendment, and I think we can amend it. Because we've been interpreting it all along as new definitions of weapons come along. That's why I think originalism would be a dumb way to read the Constitution. Because if that was the case, you'd be like, oh, we all have to be in militias.
Well, first and foremost, whether or not you think that argument has substance, SCOTUS already ruled about the Second Amendment regarding the militia argument in 2008 in Columbia versus Heller.
And they also ruled against Roe. So see how this isn't your argument? Your argument is the originalist. They also ruled against Roe, which I said showed precedent.
Right. So what I'm saying, right, is the court that ruled on precedent doesn't mean originalism. The court that ruled on Roe v. Wade, did you think they looked at Roe v. Wade through an originalist lens?
Well, no. Now I'm confused because you said that the Supreme Court already ruled on this, so you were using precedent of the Supreme Court ruling on the Second Amendment. I was just showing you how that's the same thing as the Supreme Court ruling with Roe v. Wade. In both instances,
this is why that's not accurate.
Let me finish real quick. I was relying on precedent, and so are you. We're both relying on precedent right now.
So here's the difference, right? Here's the difference. The precedent that was relied on Roe versus Wade when the SCOTUSes looked at when Roe came to the SCOTUSes, they didn't think in their head, oh, this is what the 14th Amendment was under Lincoln's Congress. They clearly meant this to be a place to park some abortion. Whereas in District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008, that court did look at the originalist perspective when the Second Amendment was made, from the writings of Publius, from Jefferson, from Madison, from all the framers. So there's a very substantive difference just because precedents regarding.
On the Second Amendment, then, certainly, they didn't mean things like nuclear weapons or helicopters or grenade launchers. Certainly, they didn't think of that. So we've had to amend it as we've gone along to update our definitions, right? Do you see how this? Like you seem really selective in when you're an originalist and when you're okay with it being a living, breathing document.
Wait a minute. You're so out of scope there, and this is why. The Second Amendment doesn't say that the people have the right to own whatever they want, whatever they want.
I know.
Right? From the originalist perspective, it's that the federal government, right? The federal government cannot pass law that would abjectly limit a militia or the right of the people to keep and bear arms. The states did it all the time. Okay? So yeah.
That doesn't change anything I said. That's completely off topic. It doesn't. Because obviously we have restrictions, right? There's obviously areas with weapons where we have restrictions. So we've chosen that there is a line to draw. And how do we decide what that line to draw is? It's kind of arbitrary, right?
Who decides it?
Congress?
No, not SCOTUS.
Yes,
SCOTUS interprets.
They write the laws.
Right? Congress writes the law. SCOTUS interprets the writing of the law.
Yeah, so you said Congress writes the laws. They're the ones that determine what the law is. And then SCOTUS can overrule them.
Okay,
but then what happens? Then it goes back to Congress.
SCOTUS can only overrule Congress if it falls within original jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we're on the same page here. I just don't think you're an originalist.
I don't think
I think you're a selective originalist.
Oh, based on what? That I don't like. That based on the fact that Roe v. Wade is parked in the 14th Amendment.
No, based on the fact.
Originalist?
No, based on the fact that you said you're an originalist, and then you just explained your stance on Second Amendment, and you're pretending that like we haven't changed the definition of what it means to bear arms the entire time it's been around. You can't be an originalist and be like, and then also accept that the right to bear arms has been debated and decided over and over again, and we've moved the lines all over the place.
Okay,
it wasn't that long ago we had an assault weapons ban. Now now we don't, and it wasn't because it's not even because the courts decided that you couldn't do that. It was that they just let it expire.
Really quick.
Right? Wait, but right though.
Who let what expire? The courts let something expire?
No, it was I think it was a 10-year assault weapons ban. It wasn't unconstitutional. They were allowed to do it. So it seems like there is a
10-year assault weapons ban was by Congress?
Yeah, in the 90s.
Okay, I think what we're talking about,
and it just wasn't renewed. What I'm saying is clearly you can limit what weapons you have, because we did an assault weapons ban. It was challenged. It wasn't overturned by the Supreme Court. So clearly, and then we let that rule expire. We set lines on what kinds of weapons you can get already. Clearly there's limits, right?
So wait. We're still getting away from the fact that has nothing to do with originalism.
It does, because if you're going to be an originalist, you say that it keeps it's about like if you're in a well-trained militia.
No, can I just define originalism really quick?
No, let me just no. I need to ask you.
Yeah, please, filibuster. Please, go ahead.
This isn't filibustering. This is a conversation.
Do you have a question?
No, I want to have a.
You just said you need to ask me this. So are you about to filibuster? Do you have a question?
Could you chill?
Well, I'd like to. Okay, yeah, please.
Okay,
continue.
you can go. Go ahead. You can go.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Okay. When I look at originalism, right? I'm looking at it that you emphasize the text and the meaning of the text at the time that the amendment was passed. So if you were to take something,
let's stop there. Let's stop there. At the time that the Second Amendment was passed, could everybody own weapons? Did that grant the right to everybody to own weapons?
I don't know if everyone could own weapons.
Let's ask about what about black people?
No, they couldn't.
What about women?
Maybe.
No, they couldn't either. So if we're originalist, you need to stand by that. Because if you're going to say the original meaning, the meaning at the time was that you needed to be in a well-regulated militia. You needed to be a white man, I think landowning man. You couldn't be a woman. So in this case, in order for you to be an originalist, to go by the definition of when they originally wrote it, then most people wouldn't be able to own firearms in this country. That's why I said you're not an originalist. You're just a selective originalist.
Stay with me, please. Please stay with me, okay? So the Second Amendment happened, right? And then
baby talk me. I like that.
Yeah, well, you just love to interrupt. You little filibuster luster.
All right, hold on before you guys go. Can you, Papa? I just got a question. Can you define harm?
Yeah, no. You interrupted for that, you piece of shit.
Wait, I thought
No,
I'm sorry. I thought you. I'm not trying to be. I thought you only interrupted if we were.
Oh, you just
Are
go
you
ahead.
part of
He's
the?
just trying to make a joke. Go ahead. Don't
Oh, okay.
complain.
I'm like,
He's
I
just
don't. I
making a
don't.
dumb joke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Papa.
he's just not funny. It's
my
not
bad.
his fault. He tried.
Okay. Okay. So you are correct, right? If under the Second Amendment, you would interpret it that way, right? Do you think that originalism doesn't mean that you interpret the Constitution in the totality of the circumstances in relation to the other amendments?
No, you said you are supposed to interpret it in the way that it was meant when they wrote it. I asked you that at the beginning, and you said, "Yeah, that's
Right.
what I mean."
Okay. An obvious caveat to that is that when something falls under original jurisdiction, it includes the other amendments in the Constitution. So yeah, you would look at
what other
the
amendment?
14th
Which ones are you
Amendment,
talking about?
the 14th Amendment and the 5th Amendment.
I don't know why you're screaming. Can you explain why we're updating that then?
The 14th Amendment provided the Equal Protection Clause, which said that all laws had to apply equally to all persons.
Okay. Okay. And then
clause on the federal level. 14th Amendment is for the state level.
Okay, so there's a loophole in the Second Amendment where you then apply it if there's other amendments that come forward that you have to apply rights to. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying it's an originalist one.
No. It's not a loophole for the Second Amendment.
No, I wasn't saying just for the. I wasn't saying just for the Second Amendment. I'm saying
for
the
amendments
loophole
in general.
The loophole to originalism here would be that if there's another amendment that comes up later and grants those rights, then you grant those rights, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just interpret it as the right. So then you would look at the 14th Amendment and you'd say, did at that time mean for all laws to apply to all persons as plainly written?
And what do we do about the militia part?
What about it?
Well, that obviously a well-regulated
the militia had nothing to do with the 14th Amendment.
It had to do with the Second Amendment. So
right. So I'm saying, how does that change anything?
Well, it seems to me that the Second Amendment, as it was written, was about militias.
Right. So what I was trying to say.
So what do we do about that? Do we just ignore that part? Because you said I understand that you're saying that in this case the rights are only at this time like white landowning men, and now you're extending this right to everybody. So now everybody has the Second Amendment right to own a gun, but they have to. It seems they need to be in a militia. So what do we do about the militia?
Okay, what I was trying to explain earlier, right, is that the Supreme Court in 2008. In District of Columbia versus Heller, that militia argument that people use, that was very common. It was a very common argument up until 2008.
So using a 2008 definition for originalism is what you're saying. That doesn't make any sense.
Host, is there any chance I could get a sentence out? Or I'm sorry, I'm requesting your assistance because he just won't let me finish a sentence. I mean, you can't.
No, I'm asking you to follow the logic, though. This is
no. I want you to. I just want to be able to finish a sentence without you interrupting me.
No, thank you. So in 2000, you're saying that your originalist argument.
No, I'll just keep
relies
talking.
on
But I'm saying that in 2008, District of Columbia versus Heller.
Hold on.
Just let him get it out, Admir. He can get it out.
No.
I'm going to ask the same question.
I respect the host.
Okay.
Oh, well, you got to understand, he is also the host as well, so.
Okay, then he's a tyrant.
Go ahead. No, I'm telling him to let you finish.
What the fuck is he a tyrant, bro?
I'm on your side. I was saying let him go, Admir. Let him go. Just let him finish. Get it all out.
I'm saying that in 2008, in District of Columbia versus Heller, the court, through an originalist lens, held that the Second Amendment protects an individual right to possess firearms. Right? They said that. They also said in dicta that dangerous and unusual weapons can still be banned, leaving for regulation if it falls outside the scope of common use as defined in the Second Amendment.
Right.
Okay? McDonald versus Chicago, they said that the Second Amendment applies to state and local governments. So then they
what year was that, by the way?
2010. What does the year, dude? Court in 2000. Let me think about it like this: the court in 2000.
Could you let me do my arguments? You don't need to guess what my arguments are going to be and then jump ahead.
I'm not guessing your argument. I'm saying the court in 2008 looked at what the framers thought in 1783.
No, they looked at the wording of what the framers thought, right? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so what did they do with the militia part? How did they interpret that? How did they say this applies now?
Probably the National Guard, if I had to think about it.
What would the Second Amendment have to do with the National Guard?
Though, because it's a well-regulated militia. Militia being like a state's right to have a militia bear arms.
Okay, so the way you would interpret this is we have to have a national guard, and we need a national guard, and because
we don't have to have a national guard.
Well, it's
if a state wants one, they're able to have one.
It's necessary to the security of a free state, right?
No,
necessary.
No.
That's what it says. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, right?
Okay, I follow you. That doesn't mean that national guards are necessary.
Well,
you think that the state is required to have a national guard vice the Second Amendment? You think that's what the framers meant?
Yes, that's why they're saying that a well-regulated militia.
Meant. You think the framers meant
because
every state needs a national guard?
Who's interrupting?
I'm in a suspension of disbelief. You think the framers meant
suspend your disbelief by suspending your speaking too? Do them at the same time.
God,
I know. A well-regulated out here. We're talking about, and there's a comma after militia. Being necessary. Nope. Still shushies. Okay. Being necessary to the security of a free state. Comma. So we have this militia, which now we're told is necessary to the security of the free state. And because that militia is necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, those people that had the right to bear arms, those would be the people that also would serve in the militia, right?
Okay.
That had that right?
No.
So women got it too then.
No, it's not what I'm saying.
Who would be drafted into those militias?
Landowning men.
Okay, perfect, great. So now that we know,
that's not actually entirely true.
That's
not entirely true. There were other people that would get drafted into it. Okay,
a well-regulated. So there were people that didn't have the right to bear arms that were drafted into a militia. Did they get guns when they got in that militia?
Yeah.
Okay, so they now had the right to bear arms because they're in the militia, right?
Oh my God.
Do they get to keep those rights when they get back out of the militia?
I have a question for you before I can answer. I have a question for you because I just need clarification.
All right.
Are you making an argument, tell me if I'm wrong, that it's just one distinct group that the framers were talking about, which is a militia?
No.
Or no. So you think that the Second Amendment as written applies both to a militia and to the individual, right?
I think that we have decided it has nothing to do with a militia, but you're an originalist, so I'm testing your logic here. And an originalist would not just be able to cut out a well-regulated militia. I think we just ignore that part. I think that's how we decided to interpret it. But I would say at the time, if I'm an originalist, and I know. Listen, but it's tough.
Just shushies.
Listen, it's weird. First of all, it's weird that you're in here under a fake name. That's already weird.
The filibuster.
But your inability to shut the fuck up is crazy, considering you won't stop complaining about it.
I'm here for my lesson, dude. Come on.
You're getting one, but I don't know that you understand very well. I'm not an originalist. I'm actually I would agree with you. Your argument I agree with. That just means you're not an originalist. If you and I agree, you're not an originalist. We agree on the interpretation.
I'm an originalist.
Well, you're not.
Okay, let me ask you this way. What did you think of Scalia's opinion in Heller?
I didn't even think about it.
You didn't even read it.
I didn't read it. No.
That's right. So Scalia went into that. He went into that. He said the prefatory clause, right? It doesn't limit or expand. He was saying that when he was talking about the
why doesn't it limit or expand? What was he citing there?
I'll tell you why. He says from an original
precedent.
Did you shut up? He said
you don't like it when people interrupt.
Scalia said that using the founding era grammar when it was written, he supported the position, and people agree that the commas reflect a grammatical structure from the 18th century.
It
wasn't a signal that the militia clause controls the meaning of the Second Amendment.
They found a similar grammatic structure from the 1800s. That is a loose argument, even from Scalia.
From the 18th century.
Yeah, the 18th century.
And they didn't find it. They said they looked to guess where they looked to see where that comma applied. The other parts of the fucking Constitution.
Wait, what are you saying? They misplaced the comma? It should have been somewhere else.
Dude, no, I'm not. I'm saying
what are you talking about then?
When I'm saying that Scalia said that the grammatical structure regarding that comma, because people kept on making the argument that the militia is what the Second Amendment was about, not just the individual. He's like, no. In 18th century writing, this comma, right? It would like bifurcate. So it
What
wasn't
did
a
it do
signal.
instead? If it's not separating the subject, what was it doing instead? What was that comma doing?
He's saying it was naturally dividing the Second Amendment into two parts, a prefatory clause and an operative clause.
Well, there were two commas, so that would be three parts.
Okay, the comma that I'm talking about is the one after a well-regulated militia being necessary.
Yeah, but there's another comma in that same sentence.
Right, so he's saying that each comma is separating each article.
But then it would be three. There'd be three. If there's two commas, there's three separate, right?
Okay, fine. That doesn't change.
I just don't think you're making a compelling argument.
You haven't read the Second Amendment. I really don't.
I haven't read the Second Amendment. I just read it to you.
You read a part of it.
No, I read the whole.
What is your position on it?
I have the same position as you, that that the Supreme Court has adjusted as new technology has come about, as new laws have come about. The Supreme Court has adjusted their opinion because it's a living and breathing document. Because I'm not an originalist, and I think originalism is a lazy thought process shared by our laziest judges, our most intellectually incurious judges. All love to say originalism because then they don't have to learn anything new.
You've made a position. I want you to substantiate it by finding an originalist SCOTUS that interpreted the Second Amendment in a non-originalist fashion. What's the case?
What?
Find me an originalist SCOTUS who interpreted the Second Amendment in a non-originalist lens.
I think the one you just talked about is exactly
the Scalia one.
I think that is the weakest argument I've ever heard for, like, you can't even explain it. You said that he found that sentence structure in other parts of the document from the 18th century, and I said, okay, so what changed? Now that you have those two commas, what did the comma represent? It separated it into two. What did you say? Into two segments, but it's three segments. I'm just wondering what that comment. You have no idea either. You read it, but you don't know what he meant either. That's the sign that it's a bad argument. That I don't get what the fuck he's saying, and you, who's defending it, can't explain what the fuck he's saying. That's a bad argument.
Wait. The reason that it's a bad argument is because you can't understand what I'm saying.
I've asked you, what was the comma doing then? How did that change the meaning that I'm laying out?
He was saying that there's a total of three commas, right?
Two.
Three. It's three commas. We just said three.
No, three segments, two commas.
No, it's three commas. Read
you might be right, you clown.
You don't even know, dude. You don't even know.
Oh yeah, it's three. Okay.
You don't even know. You're so full of shit. You don't even know.
Yeah, you're doing great, bud.
Yeah, and you're killing it, man. Hey, yeah, you're killing it.
Do you just always copy my insults and throw them back at me like slightly different? This is like rubber.
Only when you're wrong. Just objectively
Yeah, but you understand that earlier you were wrong. You didn't know there were two commas. You said there was one. I said two, and now there's three. And you're like, oh my God, you didn't know there was three. You're stupid. You said one earlier, bud. Like both of us messed up how many commas there are. No, I still want to know what that comma is doing. How does that change the meaning? How did we get rid of the well-regulated militia?
Okay, we never got rid of the well-regulated militia.
Okay, so what does it mean in today's terms?
In Scalia's opinion, he was saying that there was a prefatory clause and an operative clause. The prefatory clause was a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. The operative clause was the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And so what Scalia was saying...
What are you saying that means?
Well, the prefatory clause, what Scalia was saying, was it explains the purpose of the Second Amendment, but it doesn't limit the Second Amendment.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't limit it. And that means that it's open to interpretation by the courts going forward. What? That means that you can't have an originalist view because it is open to interpretation. We have the same view here.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. And Robert, it sounds like you said Robert wrote that. It sounds like he also isn't taking an originalist view here.
I said Scalia, and I shout with assertion, so therefore I'm right. No. I'm not saying that. We don't agree clearly because
how could something be originalist if it's not in there?
Let me ask you this, okay? If you're,
it sounds like
no, I'm not saying that
in there.
Let me ask you, why is it that liberal scholars, liberal legal scholars throughout the nation say that this is an originalist position and they don't agree with it?
Because the originalists take that, the people that label themselves originalist take that position. I think that their logic here, I don't think that because you call yourself an originalist, that you actually read everything as originalist. It's probably my biggest criticism of right-wing Supreme Court judges. If they are anything, they are inconsistent. They pick and choose when they are what they say they are. And I'm just pointing out, this is another example where judges who claim they are originalists only hold to an originalist interpretation when it benefits them, and when it doesn't, they'll just go a different way. What you're explaining to me with Scalia would say that this is a working, breathing document, and that it's not limiting, that the language itself is not limiting, and so therefore we cannot assume that they meant it to be limiting. So we're gonna have to keep this as a working, breathing document.
No,
that's not originalism.
That's still not, but what you're explaining is still not, like, originalism allows for interpretation. Like, here's what I mean, right? In the dissent of that very opinion, right? Like Stevens, who, like, was a liberal. He also looked through an originalist lens. He looked through the documents of the time. He looked through the interpretation of what the framers meant at the time. Originalism doesn't mean that it has to just be one way of interpreting it. It's how you look to what sources do you use to support your argument. It's through the lens of the framers at the time, right? So like RBG, she didn't care what the framers thought at the time because she had a non-originalist perspective.
Yeah. So what I'm pointing out.
Fuck.
Jesus.
Like you're so sure of yourself,
sorry, I waited till you were done, but maybe you're not done yet.
I'm just saying that, like, what makes you think that an originalist doesn't allow for interpretation?
I do think they allow for interpretation because...
Well, that's not your whole position.
You got to shut the fuck up now. Come on, man. Come on. Just get yourself together. Originalism is a theory, and like all theories, most people can't keep the theoretical purity in practice. So what I'm pointing out here is that originalists often say, I'm an originalist, and they give this definition of, I take the definition as it was meant at the time. But then there are lots of times that there's really no, at best, you're guessing what the people meant at the time. At worst, you're saying, yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think originalists are always consistent. That's my only point, is that I don't think this interpretation was an originalist view. I don't think we started with abortion. Good luck finding an originalist view on abortion. That was the only point this whole time, is that I don't think that they are being honest when they say this is an originalist view.
No, that's okay. That was
the view of an originalist.
That was the entire view. That was the entire point of Dobbs. Is they're saying there is nothing. We can't find anything in the 14th Amendment that has to do with some abortion, right? And so their point was, okay, then why is some abortion having anything to do with the 14th Amendment? And they're like, okay,
but they had to overturn precedent to do that, and people who believed that there was sound logic within the Constitution to have that protected. So you still had to undo precedent, which means that by definition, that's not originalist. That's two sides saying, reading the Constitution, getting them differently, and coming up with two very different solutions. And neither one of them, I would say, are originalists, because originalists would probably, like under originalism, you'd probably say, if the Constitution doesn't mention something, then we can't outlaw it. I think a far more originalist view on something like abortion would be, the government has no right to take that position, because there's nothing in there.
Okay, I want to read something you just said to me. I wrote it down. I want to read what you just said to me, because it was a point that I brought up earlier that you said wasn't it. You just said they, being the SCOTUS, had to overturn precedent, and therefore it wasn't originalist.
No, you said that it's not. No, here's how the conversation went. I did say that. I did say that. No, I did say that. But hold on. I'm just giving you a timeline. Chill, dude. You are a bundle of nerves. It's wild. So you said that they decided in Dobbs that there was nothing in the Constitution. They searched everywhere and there was nothing in the Constitution, right?
In the 14th Amendment.
Right. So there was no justification, right? Because it had not been mentioned before. So therefore, there can't be a law, right?
No, that's not. No, that's everything you just said was wrong. So what's the
conclusion then?
The conclusion was that this is not in the 14th Amendment, but this does fall under the health, safety, and welfare provision in the 10th Amendment. This is some abortion is a health, safety, and welfare issue. Congress doesn't have a law on the books that codifies abortion. Therefore, it's a states' rights issue.
And it's
At
also,
any
wait, so it's also not in the Constitution, right? And
correct.
anything not constitutionally granted is their argument should be left to the states, right?
Explicitly granted. Yeah. If it's a health, safety, welfare issue, it's not explicitly
Okay,
listed
so
as
in
a
that,
power
so
authorized, then yeah, it goes to the states.
that's my point. So we're not relying on originalism there,
Jesus Christ.
right? This isn't a
No,
case that
we
you rely
are.
on originalism, is it?
We
So if an
are.
originalist
That's
says
an
I'm an
originalist.
it's not. I don't think it is. Something not being in there?
No. Oh my God. Okay. The 10th Amendment is saying it's a health, safety, welfare issue, right? We agree with that? Health, safety, welfare, 10th Amendment
Sure.
established. Okay. Right. So they're saying, okay, well, so abortion is a health, safety, welfare issue. It's not explicitly listed anywhere else in the Constitution. And now you could make an argument that goes, oh, well, health, safety, and welfare, it's not, abortion isn't explicitly tied to health, safety, and welfare in the Constitution. It's like, yeah, okay, then they might look to other case law if they have nothing else to go off of. If the framers have never talked about this issue, like, yeah, they might go like, this is where health, safety, welfare has been defined through the past 200 years. These have been other issues that the states have used regarding health, safety, and welfare. And then they'd say that applies to some abortion, and they brought it back to the states. That's very much an originalist lens.
I honestly think we're saying the same thing.
Well, you're saying that's not an originalist lens.
I think it's an originalist lens in terms of, are you saying that because if it's not explicitly written in the Constitution, it is therefore a state right? That's what you're saying, right?
That's a very broad statement. If
Yeah,
it's
we're
not
saying the
explicitly
same thing.
Oh shit.
I don't know. I don't know if that could have been on me. I am fairly high, but I feel like he and I are saying the same thing right there, aren't we?
Listen, I needed a dictionary. I was trying.
I was just worried. I was just trying to get a galaxy drop.
I do think we were supposed to talk about the
God
SCOTUS
bless
picks.
him, bro.
That derailed quickly.
Yeah.
Do you want to go in order at here, or do you want somebody
It don't matter. I don't care.
in order?
I just want to let you know. Yeah, I just want to let you know, RTP, that he did dog walk you. So
They always do.
yes.
All right. Go ahead, Angry.
What's up?
What's up, Angry?
How you doing?
Good. Are we gonna have a better time than the last time?
Last time? I don't even remember you.
Oh, you don't?
Nope. Should I?
So you didn't?
No,
So
he was in queue last time, but he didn't get to come up.
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Okay. My apologies. My bad.
Or
I
only
guess there
one.
was somebody that was angry.
There was another guy with a beard or something?
Maybe. I guess so. I'll please. I'll apologize to you. My bad. So I'm
You're
sure
forgiven.
you heard this. So yeah, thank you. So I'm sure you've heard how this works. Go ahead and pick a topic, whatever you want to talk about with the RTP, and have fun.
Sure. So I just want to know where you got the comparison between the right to bear arms and right to bear nukes. Like where did that come from?
No, I was just saying that, like the right to bear arms, it doesn't say exactly what you can own, and so the federal government.
Do you know the difference between
brother?
arms
Please
and
don't.
nuke?
Could I please just get the sentence?
Oh,
You
here we
haven't
go.
even heard it yet.
He's gonna constantly talk.
Brother, that was the middle of my sentence. Don't be like the last guy, please.
You don't shut up, do you?
Jesus Christ, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. I knew him. Yeah, you were up here. So listen. Listen. Okay. So hold on a second.
Oh, here we go.
I'm trying to be nice tonight and all that because I'm waiting for the Cajun pasta Alfredo.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be nice. You know what I mean? So if you can just do me a favor, if you're gonna ask him a fucking question, let him answer a goddamn question.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean?
Well,
And
you
with
want the
these
fucking
goddamn
mouth?
ad
Jesus.
homs. Yeah,
Why are
with
you
these
so
little
angry?
ad homs that okay.
Well,
So
mellow
listen,
down,
I'm not
dude.
gonna play these games.
This is
Mellow
Either
down.
ask him a question.
Calm down,
Oh, okay,
Lisa.
that's great. That's
Lisa.
great. All right. Have a good night.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
fine. Yeah,
Just
I'm
the
not.
immediate
Listen, I'm
crash
not.
out.
I'm not fucking doing this shit. I'm already pissed off that I gotta wait another 17 goddamn minutes for my pasta. Man, fuck this bullshit.
All right, you got one more.
Oh, it's this fuck.
RTP, have you been, man?
All right.
I'm here. You're in a great mood.
RTP, how have you been? Good, man. How are you?
I've been off this app for about 5 months, came back on. How's the golf game?
Welcome back. It's good, man. It's getting better.
What's your
I think
handicap?
I've posted a score in like a year, so it's still the same. It's like a +1, but I'm like more like a 2 or a 3 right now.
Oh, okay. I got mine down to 7, but I didn't know you were a 2 or 3. That's pretty good. So we're picking a topic, and we're RTP and is doing it. What are we doing here, Amir?
Yeah, so I mean, it's very easy. Just pick a topic, talk. You've seen what happened to the last guy. I dealt with you last night, so I'm not in the, you know what I mean? I still look better. So, yeah, just pick a topic, man. And I'm hoping that since it's RTP that you're not going to crash out like you did last night.
Well,
Well, RTP and I have had many conversations before. So
Okay, well, fair enough. Just pick a topic and have at it.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
foreign policy. Let's do foreign policy.
Let's foreign it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now I remember. Yeah, it's good talking to you. I actually thought you were somebody else. I think I mixed up your username.
No,
And I
you're
was
good,
talking.
man.
I don't remember who I was talking to. I was like, man, what are you still coming down to play golf? He's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I was like, oh no.
So I was down there in May, and I played Weekapa.
Oh, thanks for hitting me up. Appreciate it. Just
Well, I
right
was
around
on
the
that
corner.
for a while, bro. I had to take a break because you destroyed me so many times.
Sure.
Okay, so foreign it up. Let's go.
All right.
So my question for RTP is the Middle East safer because of the actions of Israel and Donald Trump?
Like the whole Middle East is just like,
Yeah.
is it,
The whole, like Saudi Arabia and all those different countries, are they safer off after the actions of Israel and Donald Trump?
I don't know, man. It seems like they're pretty upset over there still. It's calmed down a little bit since the bombing from Iran. The bombing from Iran. I know like some stuff's cooled off with in Yemen. So I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like he really elevated the temperature and then it's back down a little bit now. I'm not super confident that things are going to stay how they are now. There's still a genocide happening, or G-side.
Yeah. So how of all the Middle Eastern countries, how many of them are like friendly with Iran? We're talking countries. We're not talking like, groups. I'm talking about actual countries. How many of them are friendly with Iran?
I don't. Do you know? I have no idea how many.
I don't know all, but the thing I'm trying to point out is it is more likely that more countries in the Middle East right now will join the Abraham Accords because of the things that Donald Trump did and the things that Israel did. More of them are going to end up joining the Abraham Accords, which is good for the Middle East. All of us want the Middle East to be peaceful.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Abraham Accords are more of like a trade agreement than anything. But I do think that also like you're more likely to stay peaceful with
Right, normalizing relations
people you
with
trade
Israel.
with. Yeah.
Normalizing relations with Israel. Right.
But I don't like that it comes at the expense of especially Palestine. I mean, I understand like I want things to be more peaceful, but I'm just not a person who's like the end result will be more peaceful.
Well, are you
Therefore,
talking about
wipe them out.
Palestine? Are you talking about Palestine in whole, or are you talking about the Gaza Strip? Because those
Gaza
are,
Strip,
as you
yeah.
know, they're two different.
Gaza Strip in particular.
So, is it going to be more beneficial to the people in Gaza Strip? Possibly not, but we don't know what the Palestinian
Well, I
Authority.
think the people that are dead, it probably wasn't more beneficial to.
That's not what I'm saying, and you know that. I'm saying I don't know if the Palestinian Authority and as you know, Hamas and Palestinian Authority are different.
Sure.
So I think that Palestinian Authority has a good chance of joining the Abraham Accords.
Yeah, maybe, but like still, even if they join the Abraham Accords, we're talking about over 100,000 people gone. I don't think that's worth it. I don't think to say like to have peace. Like, what if you weren't going to lose that many lives over decades?
Right,
So it's hard to say like we're doing this for peace when people are dying right and left.
right, so what would have been your response on October 7th of 2023? What would when that happened? What would have been your response?
If I'm president,
Or if Israel, not the president of the United States. What should have Israel's response been?
I have no problem with them striking back at H group. I have no problem with that. But the lack of precision and the bulldozer approach, like we've heard it a trillion times. And people are always like, "Oh, they were using people as human shields." Okay, so don't take out the innocent life then.
Right, but
I don't know how we became the people that are like, "Yeah, just go through the innocent life too."
Do you know what the ratio of unalivings between combatants and innocent civilians have been in that conflict?
I think it's significantly higher with innocents.
It's not. It's actually not.
Well, it depends on what numbers are you pulling from.
I'm pulling from multiple different sources. I can get it for you. I'm sitting on my phone.
I mean,
right
we're
now.
we're talking.
I can get it for you.
We're talking 100 to 200,000 people. I think you're talking about just the like in strikes, right? In attacks. You're not including obviously the people that are dying of starvation or they get injured and they die later from their injuries.
I'm talking about direct military.
Yeah. So the thing is I also factor in the fact that there are people starving to death. There are people dying in need of medical care. I'm including those numbers because that's the real problem with Israel. Like if they're just going after age group, nobody's going to give a shit. But they're also wiping out so many innocent people. And every day you can go on Twitter every day and watch Israelis mow down people standing in food lines. It literally happens every day that people standing in food lines waiting to get food get mowed down.
But would you agree that a lot of the aid that has been earmarked for the people on the Gaza Strip has been taken by Hamas and stolen from them?
Hold up. I know you didn't just respond to me saying that people are waiting in a food line and they get mowed down by Israelis. I know your response to that was, well, but shouldn't we really blame Hamas for not bringing the food in? I know
What I was saying is when you said you counted in the ratio I gave, you counted people that are starving, and you're somehow equating that to actions by Israel. And
I do believe it's actions by Israel.
Hold on. What I'm saying is when Israel or the United States brings in aid, and literally we built this port or whatever it is, and the trucks come in and Hamas does that. I don't think those stories are verified. Let me finish. Are those deaths that because they don't get that food, and we can verify that, are those deaths equated to Israel?
Where are you going to verify that? From what I understand, the sources that I've read that claim that it is H group that is actually stealing the aid, those are all just unconfirmed Israeli sources. I've never seen a single independent verified source saying that these aid trucks in whole or in any sizable number are being stopped by H group. Now, I would believe that if you could find instances of it happening, and I don't know if it's H group or not, but I think you could find instances where somebody who looked like H group stopped these and took the rations. I would believe that. But to say that they are stopping the overwhelming majority, that's silly. That is absolutely silly. I watch videos of Israelis taking out food trucks.
Right, but what I'm saying, we can go back and forth on that. I can send you some articles on that. That's fine. But what would the justification for Israel to do it be? Hold on. Would you? No, wait, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the response from Israel, and so we need to stay on the response from Israel. Is there any excuse for Israel to take out food trucks? No, absolutely not. Okay, so that's why I've got a problem with them. Right, but what I'm saying to you, if there is evidence, if I show you evidence that some of those food trucks that are meant for the Gaza Strip and for that, would you equate their deaths of starving to Israel, or would you equate that to who? I don't know, but I still wouldn't care when it came to Israel, because at the end of the day, no matter what H group is doing with these trucks, I know for a fact that Israel is targeting them. So it's irrelevant what anybody else is doing, because we're talking about in this war, then I think like Iraq, Afghanistan, Desert Storm, Vietnam, and the Middle East, just in Palestine. They're killing journalists. Today they killed an American citizen. Not a word from our president yet, by the way. Not a word, or yesterday. Not a word. The amount of death that is going on at the hands of Israel, no matter what else is happening, that is evil. It is, by very definition, evil. We should not be talking about what other groups are doing if we're not going to criticize Israel in the exact same way. You can attack Israel in the same way, but what I haven't heard you say is attack Palestine and the Gaza. This is happening. That is thinking about what other groups are doing if we're not going to criticize missiles into Israel. That's H group. I don't blame the Palestinians for that. We know. I don't blame. RTP, that's the problem. You only equate guilt to one party. That's the problem.
The party that did the attack?
No, which was Hamas, who did on October 7th of 2000.
Yeah, and I said, but the Palestinians, they had nothing to do with it. Why are they guilty?
Because they elected the government of Hamas.
Oh man, that's a if we have to pay for the crimes of who we vote for.
Wait, RTP, who is the governing body in the Gaza Strip?
It was H group.
Yeah, so again,
we get to starve them to death?
Right. No, that's not what I'm saying, but who elected them?
The people. But again, even if I grant you that they elected them. I grant you they supported them. What I'm saying is they were not involved in the violence. You're saying you just get to, like, can you imagine if other countries held us to that standard? When we go over there and we wipe innocent people out, can you imagine if they held us to the standard that we're allowing Israel to do? Just like, oh, I guess come on over. And by the way, if you're trying to get me because I got you, but I hold my kid in front of me, you can take out my kid too.
RTP, I'm not trying to get you, bud.
I don't feel like you're trying to get me. I'm saying I feel like it's weird that we are not calling Israel evil. They're evil.
Why?
They're clearly evil.
Why aren't the H group? Why aren't they evil?
They are.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but see how easy that is for me? Would you agree that Israel is evil?
I just wanted you to equate blame to both parties.
No, certainly. H group is every bit is evil.
Okay.
Like they're taking out innocent lives. That's just pure evil. But I don't know why. In this country, we can't say that about Israel.
In 2005, they had an election in 2005. Fatah was supposed to win the election, but Hamas won the election. They actually had an election in 2005. So nice try. Anyway,
well, I didn't say anything.
No, I was responding to someone in the.
Oh, come on.
No.
Did I say something?
No, trust me.
Okay.
I get it. Hey, so
you see what I mean? Like, why are we even giving Israel a dime? Why are so many people in our country, specifically in the Republican Party, paid by Israel?
I'm almost calling you Jeff for some reason. That's crazy.
Oh, devastating.
I know. I'm sorry. He misses you, by the way. I talked to him last night.
Okay.
I'm willing to equate equal blame to both sides. I just want equal blame to the.
I don't think it's equal.
To the people in power that's been in power since 2005, and the people could have gotten them out or uprooted them. But if you look at polls right now, they still support Hamas by, I think it's 70 to 80%.
Well, sure. I mean, why would you not? What are you gonna do? You're gonna support the Israelis?
Why would you not?
Because the Israelis are trying to kill you.
Right.
So why would you support? You have two options.
The reason why you wouldn't support them is because you're literally like living in shambles right now because of what they're doing.
No, it's because of what they're doing.
It's because of what both sides are doing.
No, you're not. No. They are not living in shambles because of what H group is doing. They are in shambles. No, it's because of what Israel's doing. It's because of how Israel chose to respond. Why is it only H group's fault when Israel's like, hey, we're mad at you, so we're going to take out innocent people? Well, you should have seen that coming. Excuse me. Where's the psycho that's launching the missiles? Why don't we hold the psycho to account?
Yeah. So again, they both hold blame. Perfect.
But you don't hold that. You don't seem to hold that same position because you just said it was their fault. It was H group's fault that the Palestinians were living in rubble.
Yeah. So when they launch rockets from the Gaza Strip to Israel, what is Israel supposed to do? I'm just curious. What are they supposed to do in
targeted strikes?
That's what they've been doing.
Oh, come on. Then why does nobody have a house? They're so targeted they had to take out every house.
The reason no one has houses is because the H group is hiding those missiles in civilian populations, and
they had to destroy all the houses just in case there was a missile.
RTP, are they hiding weapons in civilian populations?
Sure, but that doesn't mean you get to just carpet bomb the place.
It means that civilian populations or civilian apartments that are holding military weapons from Hamas are
why can't they have military weapons? Israel has military weapons.
I know, so that they should go after that too.
You think the H group should go after Israel's?
Yeah, if Israel is holding, if military,
sounds like you just want war a little bit. It sounds like you just want a war to go.
If Israel is launching rockets from civilian populations, then those targets are legitimate targets for Hamas.
Okay.
For both sides. If you're
but what if we as the United States just stepped in and said, hey, fucking knock it off?
I think that's what we're trying to do.
No, we're not doing any of that. Because you know how I know that? Because I've never heard Trump say, "Hey, knock it off. We're not selling you weapons anymore, Israel. And if you guys launch anything, we're gonna come down there and beat your ass."
Actually,
And Palestine, if you launch anything, we'll beat your ass too. Don't fuck with us. And then it would just be over. But we're not doing that.
I think about a month ago when Trump brokered that ceasefire, he said, "I'm pretty pissed off because they almost both sides like within an hour said this is going to start at this time, this is going to start at this time." And he called back Israeli Air Force that were about to launch strikes and said, "Bring your planes back." I think he actually did that.
Yeah, and then did nothing.
Right, but
he had big words.
But you said he did nothing.
He didn't do anything. He stalled it for like a couple days. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did he call Israel and tell them to bring back their fighter jets?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that we have to step in forcefully, not be like, "Hey, I'm mad at you. Come back." And then they're like, "Okay." And then 3 days later, when you look the other way, Israel's just like, "Haha, he's looking the other way. Let's bomb him again."
What does forcefully mean?
I told you. You go to Israel and you say, "Look, we've been funding you all this time. You launch another missile, we're not funding you another dime. We're not selling you ammunition, and we're not protecting you anymore." And then you go to the Palestinians, you say, "Look, we're here with Israel. You fire one rocket and you're toast." And then we say we're gonna negotiate a solution here. Nobody's gonna fight anymore. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do, and let's solve this. And we could do that because Israel can't survive without us. But for some reason, it's the only one of our allies that we won't use leverage over. We'll use leverage over the United Nations and NATO and all these other, Canada and Mexico. But for whatever reason, all this leverage we have on Israel, we won't use. It almost seems like there's like this secret leverage that Israel has over our politicians.
So this is a question I have. This is a question I have, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, and I probably should if I'm gonna debate this stuff. Is Israel a part of NATO?
I actually don't. I don't know. Is Israel? I think so.
I don't either. That's crazy. That I don't know that.
Are they? No, not a member of NATO.
Okay,
because they're a partner through the Mediterranean dialogue.
Right? Then we have to. But I didn't know. I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know if they were or not. So
they're just a partner.
Anyways, hey, it's been really good. I'm gonna spend some time with the family.
No, that's where you left.
What?
All right, no, that was a weird place to leave. I just thought.
We can continue. I just want to spend some time with my wife before.
No, do it. Just call me next time you're down, or message me next time. We'll go golfing.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, brother. Be well.
Look at that, Jay.
Did you just finish? Don't make those sounds. Don't make those sounds when you're eating. That's weird.
Who the fuck let this motherfucker up?
I know I'm the worst. Right?
What got on the shirt there, Shane?
What's up?
What's on the shirt?
Wallace, baby. Let's go.
You are aging.
I'm aging gracefully into my.
You have just went right back to the early 90s.
I got the mullet. I'm just really not doing. I'm either not doing great or I'm doing great. I haven't decided which one it is.
I think this is called Camaro syndrome. It's when, as you age, you try and look like.
You do know I have an IROC C Camaro, right?
Of course, you have an IROC C.
Yeah. I actually wanted to I was listening to what you were saying. I was downstairs, and the thing that before he left, this is the big problem that I always have because. Famously, I've kind of come out in defense of Israel many times to the.
You did?
Here's the problem, though. There's no such thing as the H group uniform, right? No matter what we're discussing, there's an impossible targeting thing. I mean, we fell in this in Afghanistan. Insurgent populations are inherently impossible to target, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
the best defense against the United States is no uniforms. Yeah, that's true.
Right. So this is the thing that I was trying to explain to people is that the only thing that they can accomplish is wishes. Well, this is what I say about the IDF.
Who are you saying? The IDF?
The IDF doesn't really know who they're targeting. Because they're always targeting people who aren't in uniforms, and so this creates a ongoing non-militaristic issue for them. They can't win. It's the same reason we couldn't win in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, they can't win this. I don't know if they want to, but
I think it's increasingly clear that they've just been waiting. Like, there's what they're doing now. There is literally no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. they're just wiping people out unnecessarily. It's crazy. Their people are obviously in food lines. It's pretty clear that they just want, and they just have to do it systematically, because it's especially when you have America on your side who doesn't mind killing people. We let it fly for a long time. Like there's
Yeah,
blood on our hands.
I don't even know who the fuck. Yeah, I don't. Now I got rid of him. I don't even know who the fuck like this motherfucker up.
Oh,
I
Shane's
mean,
gone. Oh, bye.
yeah. So
Do a lot of people not like Shane?
I'll let you know later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That
sorry, I
dude's-
didn't know. I wasn't in on.
Yeah, I was gonna say so.
Do a lot of people not like?
That
Sorry, I
dude's-
didn't know. I wasn't in on
Yeah,
this. Shane's always been
if
really
you
nice
think,
to me
yeah, well, he's nice to you because it's you.
because I'm handsome.
Well, no, yeah, okay,
That's what he told me.
yeah.
All right, that's uncomfortable.
Yep.
I didn't even know. I'm just out there talking. I was looking at the other screen. How long was I talking before? Did I go for a
Couple
while?
seconds. Couple seconds.
Relatively high.
It's not bad. It's a couple seconds. But I want to ask you, we can wait till somebody else comes up. But I wanted to ask you something. Have you looked at the CPI reports that came out?
Briefly this morning. I showed the charts on my show, but I haven't gotten in depth on them. I could pull them up.
Yeah, can you please?
This this isn't really my expertise though either, so I don't know that I have a ton of insight here. Let's see if I can find. Okay, I pulled it up.
So I'm trying to understand: is the projection going up or is it going down? What's Fred saying?
Inflation.
Yeah.
Well, so you have core inflation, which is like a version of CPI that takes out food and energy prices. So I think that no, I can't remember the number. One of the numbers was going down, one was going up. I think it might be core. Let's see. Core. Let me see what this graph is. It doesn't tell me what this. I think this is core. This track somewhere. Okay, yeah, I think this is core inflation, which is going up. And or no, guys, inflation's going up. CPI is going up. Core inflation, I think, maybe was going down. I can't remember. I'm trying to find that graph. There's probably somebody in the chat that knows this. Bring them up. There's got to be somebody that understands this.
Hey, Kenny.
Kenny, good evening. How you doing?
Hey man, TikTok always put me on these shows, and I'm just watching.
Thank you.
That's all right. What's up,
Sorry,
Kenny?
brother. You got it, man. Keep going. Keep jabbing them. Keep jabbing.
Now this one looks like consumer price index are up 2.7, and then when you exclude food and energy, it's 2.9. Is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Are you referring to Trump's tweet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what he's referring to. I asked that this morning. I didn't get an answer. I have no idea. Does anybody know what he's referring to there? That's not crazy. It sounds incorrect.
No.
Let me pull it up. I think I know I have it up here somewhere.
Just while looking that up, have you ever tried the Wagyu sliders?
Well, I don't know where you are.
I'm in a small town in Kansas.
Like, have I had sliders with Wagyu? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had them before. Yeah,
they're amazing.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Wait, where the fuck is Trump's tweet? I know I had it. Did I save it?
All right. Hi, BGB.
Hey, what's going on here?
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Like, dude, are you serious? Make it make sense. Tell me.
Make it make sense, Edgar. Make it make sense.
I'm so confused.
Really? What the fuck, man?
Do you not like BGB either? Man, you got beef everywhere.
I know. I was like, I don't know who else to bring up. up?
I can't keep track of his beef.
What the fuck?
It's not the okay, here you go. All right, cool.
Amir,
Do you
please don't.
brush your
Please
teeth
don't.
next to the
No,
toilet?
Don't chew your food like that. No,
Do you
no,
brush
no.
your
I'm
teeth
not
next to
shooting.
the
I'm not even shooting. So
Do
BGB,
you
go.
brush your teeth next to the toilet?
Sorry, my bad.
When you brush your teeth in the morning, is the toilet next to you?
Are you
Now you
asking
understand,
me?
Jay?
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
I just don't know who
liberal.
you're asking, BG. Are you asking me?
Liberal. It's a yes or no question. Do you brush your teeth next to the toilet?
Is he calling you liberal or me? I still don't know.
All
who
right.
he's
Well,
talking
if
to.
you support unalive and black babies, yeah, you are the problem within itself.
All right.
Yeah. So tell me,
Okay.
my original question was,
Yeah.
do you brush your teeth next to the toilet?
I do not. It's separate rooms.
Oh, wow.
My sink is
and
not
what
next
planet
to the
is that?
toilet.
Is that planet Earth?
This is it. Yeah, I do live on Earth. Yep.
Okay, so don't we brush our teeth next to the toilet?
We do not. It seems like maybe you do.
Oh, you got a special bathroom.
Yeah. So sometimes
Oh, so
bathrooms.
you're on a high horse. You're on a high horse.
Correct. Yes, I live on.
Well, good for you. Congratulations that you are.
I'm also.
You have a nice big high horse. But
Thank you.
I would argue that I got a little mouse and you got
They
a horse.
say that
so
the taller,
I would
the taller
definitely
the horse,
be
the
a
closer to
better
heaven.
candidate for survival than you.
What's
Right?
that?
I would be a better candidate for survival than you.
Well, it depends.
Are you
If we have
dumb?
to- if we
Are
have
you
to get-
dumb?
If we have
You
to get
got-
something
you gotta
high,
say things
I might
twice
be
to
the
you.
better candidate
You
because
know,
I
the
have a
average
very tall
American,
horse.
what's that word? The average American,
Yeah.
has a 6th grade education, sir.
Would you
So
say
you
you're
being
above or
all
below
smart
average?
on a high horse, you think you're almighty. But why are the average Americans uneducated, dummy? Answer
Because
that
we're
one.
spending too much money on high horses. That's the problem.
Yeah, but who is the Democrats? Because they're the ones on the top, on the
I would
left.
say red states are probably more likely to have a lot of
Well,
horses.
that's
If
not
we're
what
just
I
saying
heard.
whose
I heard
horses
it's
are
the
the highest.
Democrats. I heard that there's more elite
Listen.
on the left than on the right.
We're living in cities. It's hard to
No,
keep
we're
a horse
living
in
in
the
more.
big city.
We're living in a place where God is not the source.
That's
See?
true. Hey, I feel you, brother.
All right, so God is the source, not the government. We
You
don't need
said
to give
God
our
wasn't
women
the source.
and children.
Wait, hold on. You said he
welfare
wasn't the
because why?
source.
It leads to destruction.
BGB, but you said he wasn't the
Because
source.
if you look at the black community, father absence is 80%, right? And in the white
that's- I
community,
don't know that that's correct.
75% is
I don't think-
literally like within
I don't think
itself.
those numbers are correct.
What's that word I'm looking for? It's
Insanity.
damn, man, like it's together. It's in the same ballpark, right? Because
Yeah.
it's 80% don't have parents. 75%
Well,
of white people
100%
have
100% of people
parents
have
in the
parents.
household. Hey, when I'm talking, don't do that because
No,
I'm
I'm
trying
gonna-
to finish here.
No, you're not.
A thought.
No,
Okay?
you're trying to go,
No,
dog.
no, you're
You're running a
disgusting.
marathon.
You're disgusting.
I
You're
try
a
to
racist
tell you,
person
Jay.
if you
Right.
support unalive and black babies.
What's that?
Okay, you're a very racist person.
Oh, damn.
Okay, because 80% of 90%. I got so many numbers.
80%. You got a lot of numbers. You
Well,
got a
yeah,
lot of numbers.
90% of runaways are from fatherless homes, and 90% of baby whackings are financially driven. So the economy fixing will bring down baby whackings, but you don't care about baby whackings. All you care about is the outsider and the one that came in here illegally and broke the law.
That's right. I love
what
the
about
outsiders.
Americans? It's a G side
Who
of
was-
black people.
real
And
quick.
not only that, it's a
Hold
G
on,
side
hold on,
of
real
many
quick. I have a
Americans
question.
now.
Who is
But
your
guess
favorite-
what? You forgot about Google.
Who is your favorite
You forgot.
greaser? Since we're talking about the outsiders, who's your favorite greaser?
All right,
We
bye.
didn't have.
You got to drop.
I liked Ponyboy.
You're
Ponyboy's my favorite.
There you go.
Listen, now you understand, but
That was
you wanted him up
unbelievable.
here. Well,
Whoever dropped him.
listen,
That
That was
I mean,
unbelievable.
yeah.
Good Lord. I feel like I had been around him. I didn't know he was like that all the time. I feel like I've heard him stop talking before.
I just want a clarification of what kind of babies we were walking. I mean,
I don't know that.
I'm
No, I
talking
didn't
about.
know.
Oh, I mean, I actually know what he means by that.
Check the hard drive.
I'm joking. I know what he means by that, but
If you've never dealt with BGB, well, now you have.
Jay has. He knows. He's familiar.
I didn't remember. I think maybe they just mute him on panels a lot. I don't think there's any way to stop him once he gets going. He's unflappable.
He's very anti-abortion because black fathers need to be in the home. and also he's unemployed because he can't get a job because he is going to get his certificate.
Those interviews must be hell. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Fucking fathers.
I got 80% of 90%. I got all the numbers. 70% of 60% and 90% is completely and totally 80%. That's what I got out of most of
Yeah,
this.
and but women are awful because they whack his babies. I mean, to be honest, it would never happen. But if I somehow wound up with one of GGB's fetuses, I definitely would whack it.
Jesus.
Like a football.
Unbelievable.
God,
All right,
damn.
Jesus Christ.
Just saying.
Damn.
Just saying.
She pre-aborted his baby.
Shit.
That's tough. That's tough to hear.
I'm gonna prepay my punch card so.
Admir, can you check the queue and see if I can accept this person up, or do you got beef with him?
It'd be my honor. It'd be GP.
I don't know who that person is. I've never seen.
All right, there you go. Good luck.
All right, I'll go.
Thanks, Jen. Pre-aborting and shit. Taj, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up with you?
You know, same old, same old.
Okay, I haven't been on in a long time. Last time I saw you probably about a year and a half ago, man. You was a Trumper, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you done crossed over?
Well, it's not that I crossed over. I just evolved.
Okay, I can live with that. Yo, he said baby whackings, yo. I never heard that before, man.
I'm assuming you're friendly, right?
Yeah, true.
No, I'm good. Yeah, it was very good, sir. Thank you. So you're friendly, right?
Absolutely.
Josh? You know how this goes. We're looking for ops for
Okay,
RTP to
all
get
right.
dog walked and stuff. So you know
All
how this
right,
goes.
cool. Drop me down, man. I
I'm
appreciate
0
it.
and 4.
You stay safe. BGB, man, you're not. And listen, bro, I thought you left. I thought
No,
you
there was a
like,
drop for him. He can't come back up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's Oslo? Anybody knows who Oslo is?
The Elmo-looking one?
Ah.
I don't know about it. I don't know about bringing up Elmo. Elmo's had a weird week. Might not be the time to bring up Elmo. Hey, thanks for both going on mute real quick.
No, I was.
What the fuck? Just leave me on. God damn.
Well, you were talking, so I was like, I'm not gonna interrupt you. and
Yeah, but I
shit.
finished.
Oh,
There's a
really?
moment of silence.
Well, hold on. He said, I finished. Okay. I mean,
Take
for a
long.
second there, yeah, I mean, 33 seconds with cuddling. Anyways, moving on. What about the guy, the liberals guy and all that? I mean, are you guys buddies or something?
He used to come on a while ago. I feel like his name used to be something different. And he would come on, he would talk to me and Felice. And he lives in Idaho. I think he's Mormon. And he's got family down here where I live. So we always said that we were going to golf. But I thought, for some reason, he was that Ryan dude that hangs out with, who's the kid that just got, that girl fleeced him for a bunch of money?
All right, he's back up.
Oh, Justin.
Yeah,
Justin. I thought he was Ryan. Yeah.
No.
Liberal,
RTP, that hurts.
did you have anything else on your mind?
I felt bad about it, honestly. I felt really bad.
That hurts, man. No, I was listening again. That hurt me that you didn't remember that we were going to go golfing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The course is nice too right now. It's beautiful.
Which one?
I'm not going to say it. I think I've told
It's
you before.
100.
But
It's 115 degrees down there, though.
that's right. That
You
means there's
golfing?
nobody on the course. It's wide
You
open.
golf in 115 degrees.
Oh, it's the best because you go out there and I just throw on my headphones and either like make phone calls or listen to something. There's nobody out there, and so you're like always in the shade of your car and you park in the shade. So it's really not that bad because you have wind.
Los Angeles? Are you playing Los Angeles?
No, same area, but let's not talk about it because I don't want to like dox myself really. So let's not talk about the ones close by. But you can DM me. I'll tell you in DMs.
I sent you a DM. Anyways, I just
Okay,
want to
cool.
see that herd that he thought it was some other guy. Jeff is very disappointed in you.
No, not Jeff. I need him.
Listen, bro, he keeps telling me that he wants to debate you, and you know,
I can't debate. I've told you guys I mean this legitimately. He is the best debater on TikTok. He is the only undefeated debater. You cannot defeat him. It's impossible. He will go for 48 straight hours and you will die of exhaustion.
Live.
What'd you say?
Unalive.
Oh, unalive. Thank you.
yeah. I'm just saying,
Undefeated, man.
with that hair, man, that hair pisses me off more than anything.
There was this kid that I went to high school with. His name was Spencer. I won't say his last name actually, and I don't remember. I don't remember what he. There was some condition he had with his arms, and then I know he just had like a learning disability, but he was always like the basketball manager. But this dude could shoot, and he would consistently after basketball games. You get all these kids out there that thought they could play, and he would just dust them all day. And the jump shot looked so crazy that it was like more painful losing that way. You just like it was devastating. But he made everything. That's what it's like debating Jeff. Except for when you debate Jeff, nobody makes anything. It is a 0-0 game, and it goes on for 46 hours, and nobody ever comes remotely close to scoring, and it just ends in a 0-0 tie. And technically he wins because he doesn't turn off his phone.
Yeah, but I wanted to run something by you because I was talking to somebody because I've been very interested in this. Have you kind of looked into it at all, or are you?
Yeah, this is the craziest story. This is insane.
You know, it is, but I'm starting to think that this might be a. I don't want to say a setup, but an advantage for Trump, and here's why.
Advantage Trump. You're calling advantage?
Yeah.
Okay, I love this. Tell me about it.
And here's why. So remember when Cash Patel came in, the leak that came out that the New York office and the court had extensive files on the Epstein that they did not want to release.
Yeah.
You heard about that, right? So. Cash Patel fires the guy who hid all of that. Now, who are the only people that can actually get the courts, the federal courts, and the FBI to release those lists or the files?
Who can force them to?
Yeah.
The courts.
But if the federal courts are not releasing it, right? So of course it would go up to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and you think the Supreme Court will? Yeah, but I don't think that works. The thing is like you can overlook a lot of stuff. You can overlook a lot of corruption if it goes your way. The problem with this is that doesn't go MAGA's way. That only goes Trump's way. And we've seen like there's people willing to. This is the only issue I've ever seen with MAGA where people are willing to like depart from Trump and say like if he doesn't do this. Like we just don't believe him. You can't hide this. So if he has to go to that length, if they go to that length and he pardons Maxwell, like the Republican Party's done for a long time if they do that. Like they'll start their own party. They'll leave Trump over this.
I don't. You know about her MPA agreement, right? And the whole court appeals right now. That's what she's basing it on. I don't think at the end.
Maxwell.
Yeah. I don't think she's gonna need for him to pardon her. I think listen, this is just my opinion based on what I've been reading with the doc and everything. I think she's gonna walk.
You think she's gonna how would she get a retrial on this? Or a mistrial?
Because of the NPA agreement, that was given to her by the DOJ in 2008.
Weren't those state charges?
Some of them were, because remember she was charged with.
I don't think an NPA from a state is going to supersede a federal indictment.
There's somebody up on the panel, FYI.
Oh, hey.
Oh, I didn't even see
I
it. My
know y'all
bad.
don't look
Hi.
at
No,
the
you're
fucking
good. You're good.
screen.
You're good. I like that.
My bad. I didn't.
They
I'm
don't
like,
look at
what?
the screen. I don't know why they have phones.
Hey, I got a
But
question.
welcome in, King.
How are you?
Good, good.
So I got a.
Are you
You need
like
to finish?
doing?
I got a.
I mean, listen, bro. We can wait. I mean, go ahead. Do your thing.
No. That's my son beating on a drum.
Oh, okay. I was
No,
like, damn.
I kind of want to bring up the Epstein files and ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Can you say e-file, please? That's okay. Thank you.
I'm 40.
Can you say e-file? I don't care your age. Just say e-file, please. Thank you.
E-file. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. E-file. So my question is this: I thought the reason why Trump can't bring it up is because the gentleman's unalived, and basically you couldn't bring any charges against him or anybody else because it would be strictly hearsay.
No, because you can still, like, you can have hearsay be evidence. It can be admitted if it's backed up, right? So if there's other people testifying to the actions that were taken, it doesn't really matter. Because remember too, like, Epstein doesn't or whatever. We're not allowed to say that word.
Here, man, you can say Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein's not. It's not like he's out there defending himself in court. It's not like he's up there testifying.
Well, that's the reason why I thought you couldn't bring it up, because if you bring it up and it basically makes
They'd
So
be new
if it's not-
charges. They'd be
Well-
totally new charges, unrelated. Like it's any of the people who had accused Epstein, they could accuse Dershowitz or they could accuse Clinton, and it doesn't matter that Epstein is alive or not.
wait, but it says that you can't. I mean, I'm sure there's circumstances, right?
No, hear me out. Just hear me out. Like,
Yes, sir.
let's say that there's somebody that was abused by Epstein, right? And
Correct.
Epstein was charged with that abuse. That doesn't mean that if that person was also abused by Dershowitz or Clinton, that they couldn't go after Dershowitz and Clinton. They can all go. It's different crimes each time, right?
To bring them up on something different, or you'd have to have you'd actually have to have involvement of
Yeah.
like people that would actually be able to, because you can't use hearsay unless
Right,
it's written down.
Yeah. But
Right.
they would all be new cases anyways. But I think the bigger story here is, I honestly, I just don't think it has that much to do with a list. I don't think there's logically, to me, so this is all opinion. It doesn't make sense that there is a list. It just makes sense that there's a lot of documents that they don't want to release because it maybe gives away national secrets. Maybe it has national security implications. Maybe it just wraps people up in corruption. Who knows? But I think that's most likely why we're not seeing it. I think it has very little to do with Epstein having a list.
But why would it be a national, because I keep hearing this national, thing. It just don't make no sense because, like, look at Prince Andrews. We found out that he was on it. He was accused and all of that, and nothing happened because of his diplomatic immunity. So even if you had him, I mean, what do you...
I don't know. I don't know much about Prince Andrew. Wait, so Prince Andrew was never charged? I don't know about what
He
happened.
was never
with him.
charged because he had diplomatic immunity because he did some kind of he did something for the UK government from like '99 and up.
Well, that would probably
I
be
can't remember
him.
what the...
He was
That would probably put him in the military, right?
No. He was actually he actually had a position. I just can't remember what the hell it is.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was never charged with anything. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was never charged because of that diplomatic immunity, and so that's why I'm saying that when I hear people, well, the wars are going to start and all of that. I mean, they already have diplomatic immunity. You can't charge them, even if they come out and say, yes, I was on that island, I did all of this. You can't do shit to them.
But I think that's why this story is sticking. It's not so much like the Epstein stuff because like nobody really cared enough to make a big deal out of it. First time Trump was president, all through when Biden was president, even the Republicans, like they didn't make it a big deal. I think the part that people are overlooking is that it involves a lot of people think it involves Israel, and nobody is less popularly cared and was president. Even the Republicans is that it involves more popularity right now than Israel. And so there's a whole bunch of forces that are converging at the same time, and everybody wants to know how deep Israel is. And so I think this has a lot more to do with Israel than it does the actual list. I just think like the QAnoners are the ones that were all about the list. Most of us didn't care that much. I think the reason it's not going away though is because people think Israel's involved.
Now I'm sure somebody will put it in a chat. I can't pull it up. I don't know why, but there was an Israeli. He was somewhere. He was up high up there. I can't remember if it was a prime minister or something, but he was, yeah. But he openly came out and said, "Yeah, I was on the island. There's nothing you can do to me." And he was literally high up position up in Israeli parliament. So it's like, okay, well, if they can come out and have this diplomatic immunity, there is literally nothing you can do to them.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely
it.
gonna send it to you.
I don't know anything about that.
So it's just a weird thing, man.
It
just doesn't make no sense.
I have a different idea about that.
Oh.
This is just here. I mean, we're all throwing out ideas, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think any of us know the real truth here. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I don't know what Amanda's situation is on Intel, but
so I think this is. I think the reason why it's not getting brought up. I think there is a list, but the reason why it's not getting brought up is because they're basically waiting on more evidence and a different way to bring it around. Because, like I said,
so why don't they just say that then?
Why would you ever want to give your hand away?
Give what hand away to what?
To who?
Exactly, to whoever they're trying to get, to whoever they're trying to bring in.
What do you mean bring in? Like you're saying, like the people on the list?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some probably big high up there people. I mean, this would be a total.
So then why go through? Then why do you think they went through all this like rigmarole to be like, we're gonna give you the whole thing? And then they're like, here it is, and it wasn't it, and they're like, but really, it's gonna be next, and then they just kept pushing it back. Why didn't they just never say that? Why didn't they just keep their mouths?
Well, I think it was brought up. I think the reason why it was brought up was because he was still around.
Who? He died in 2019.
Right.
Brother, it's 2025. Like we went through all of Trump's presidency and all of Biden's presidency, and nobody really gave a shit. Like we just kind of let it go. I don't think this. Like, I think honestly, people would probably let it go if we weren't having this problem with Israel being exposed as psychos right now.
What I'm really, I've been listening to this with Alan Dershowitz.
Stand-up
he
guy.
came out, yeah, dude. I mean, he came out on what was it, like last March with Sean Spicer, and said, I was, I have the contact list and blah blah blah. I know who's there. But then he comes out the other day and says, you know what? Yeah, it still stands, but there's nobody in the government that's serving right now that's on it. So I'm like, why the hell would you say that now? You know what I mean? Because that's gonna get people all fucked up.
Do we have? I don't know if we have any attorneys here, but I was wondering something about Dershowitz. Because let her finish up that Uber order real quick. Finish that up.
Sorry, I'm having a good day. I don't give a fuck.
You are? You're hangry as fuck.
Sorry.
8, so I'm good.
Oh, now you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
And Jay, mine is on my desk. I'll review it tomorrow.
I don't remember what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
You asked if I had any information. I said it's on my desk.
Oh,
I'll read
gotcha.
it tomorrow.
Thank you. Dershowitz, though, if there are any attorneys here, he was Epstein's lawyer, which means he has like a responsibility to present publicly the best case for Epstein. Does that go away now that Epstein's died? Like now that he's out here, like I know some stuff. Is he still legally obligated to be providing the best defense for Epstein there, or I don't know if there's any restrictions there.
No, because if you listen to his interviews, he says that he is held up by the NDAs and by some of the judges, so he can't really talk about it.
Well, yeah, but of course
He
he would
can't
say,
give
like,
nothing out.
but even if he was still defending Epstein, isn't that exactly what you'd say? Like, oh, sorry, I'm wrapped up. There's stuff I couldn't say. I wish I know the answers to all this, but I can't give it to you because I'm obligated not to. That's what a good attorney could do too. I just don't know if he's acting as
sure.
Epstein's attorney or if he's like, if there's any reason we should trust him. Some people are saying that he is still his.
Of his whole estate, I don't think his brother would ever let that go. And if he did, I mean, then why would they have the payout to the victims? I mean, it just don't make no sense.
Yeah, I think those are different things, though. I think once you're somebody's attorney, I don't know if you're allowed to, like, when they die, be like, haha, guess what? That bitch was guilty. I don't think you could do that, can you?
I don't know. Alan is just a weird dude. Just a weird old creep.
That's true. That's true. It's creepy.
Just a weird old creep. And all that, but I don't know. This listen, I don't know. Maybe because I'm going off of emotions and all of that. But what I've seen lately is that the actual Republicans are now going against this administration.
I mean, all of them just voted not to force the release of the Epstein files. So I don't know how much they're going against Trump.
Well, I mean, listen, that's why I say, you know, a lot of people will ask me why this and that, and I'm trying to be as consistent and fair to everything. But, you know, if you look at the roll call of that thing and why the Republicans voted no, I actually agree with them. Because I don't want because I don't want, because if you read it, it says all files,
bro,
all evidence.
Come on, you think?
Listen, Jay.
Wait, you think
Hold on,
because it says all files that our government is going to post child graphic images on the website?
Listen. I'm just saying you don't know. I don't want that shit to go out there. I really don't.
Well, then why didn't you just add an amendment that says like none of it can be CP? You don't just vote against it. You offer an amendment. You don't think that amendment would be? Come on. You could have.
I don't want the.
Nobody got up on the floor and is like, "Hey, we would vote for this," except they only said it outside of the room. They had every opportunity to make their intentions known. Nobody got up there and was like, "With this one small change, I'm a yes."
I just rotated Spencer in. FYI, I don't know who Just Moy is, but I rotated Spencer. Or not. Never mind.
Oh.
Just Moy?
I don't know. That whole thing with I don't know. Listen, Republicans are turning their back on Trump, my opinion, and you got the MAGA that's split. MAGA movement and MAGA, you know, fanatics they're splitting. Because I've heard a lot of MAGA people that I know are now saying, listen, either release this thing, let the shit fly out, or here comes 2026, you're going to be done.
Wait, are you talking, when you say the Republicans and the MAGA, are you talking about like everyday people, or are you talking about the MAGA Republicans in Congress and the in Congress and the regular? That's where we're confused. I was talking about Congress. Like Congress is protecting them. But yeah, I agree with you. Everyday people, like there's a big split here.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely splitting, and you know what I mean? So something's going to have to give. And here's the way I'm getting at is, you know, originally we were told there are files. You're going to release the files. That's great. All of a sudden, you know, you're not going to release nothing. So if you come out and say, you know what, all of a sudden we found all of these things, I just don't think, you know, people are going to buy it.
Yeah, like say something. If you lied before, and if you just be like, oh yeah, we fucked up. We just assumed that there were files, and then we got them, and there aren't any, and that's our bad. Here you go. You can see what we have. We fucked up. But they're doing literally nothing. They're not telling you they fucked up. They're not telling you that they're not going to give the files. They're just sitting there in limbo. And then Trump's like, hey, shut up, guys. Shut up about this. Don't talk about this. And we're like, wait, we don't know what you're doing yet, though. You still won't tell us what you're doing. Pam Bondi wouldn't even answer questions about it today. I really think Trump's just going to try and ride this one out. I don't know if it'll work or not, but it seems like that's what they're going to do now. Just be like, I hope this shit goes away. Oh, hey, Spencer.
Oh, God. Well, that's fine. Hold on.
I
Let
know
me just
y'all don't
finish with
look at
Jay.
your phones.
I don't, but
Good
just give me a
Lord.
second, Spencer. But I mean, did you see the tweet that he did today? What was it, either today or yesterday, where he comes out, Pam Bondi should release all relevant files, and that's all fine and dandy. I think
Trump said that today?
Yeah, on the tweet.
I haven't seen
It's
that
yeah. My opinion, no matter what they do now, I think, and I've said this yesterday, I think Trump is the only United States president to ever bring the left and the right in unison on a specific a topic, and both sides are pissed. Both sides and they have a valid reason.
I'm gonna be honest. I think our side is less pissed, but we're just like, all right, fuck it. This is what you guys wanted. You said you wanted this. You beat us over the head with this forever. Like, just forever. Like, just do it then. And now they're like, no, we don't want to. Ever. Like, just do it then.
I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Spencer, good evening.
Good evening. I was just coming up about the attorney-client privilege earlier. There's ways to get around it, but generally, that it still holds once he's gone. There was like a Supreme Court under Clinton, I believe. It might have been under Bush, but I'm pretty sure it was towards the end of Clinton's second term that held that the attorney-client privilege survives the unaliving. There are some exceptions to it, but is there somebody in charge of his estate? I wonder, because I do know that
his brother.
So his brother, in theory, could grant the release of that said privilege, if you will. It's usually if there's a probate issue or a will being contested. But yeah, if he's in charge of the estate, I believe they can let him off the hook.
Yeah, it looks like if he's not doing that, then yeah, there is no legal representation even after you're done defending them, actually. There's no requirement to continue public defense after the case is over unless you agree to that beforehand. Which I guess then you'd have to look at his contract and see if he agreed to continue publicly defending. Which maybe that's a normal clause. I have no idea.
Yeah, the ruling I was talking to is it's Swidler and Berlin versus the United States. So
I love that book.
DLER and Berlin.
I don't really care about that.
Yeah, but I think the court can still force it because if justice prevails, like privacy,
Justice will prevail.
Yeah, if justice if it's an overall in pursuit of justice, they could make the argument that it would trump any privacy issues. I would have never been caught if this didn't happen.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they need to do something quick. If they don't,
there's only one reason that they're not. There's only one, well, maybe two reasons.
Love.
One more likely than the other. Either one, everybody's on it, or a lot of people are on it from both sides, or B, there's somebody else calling the shots, and it's not our government.
That's crazy. Somebody said Peter Thiel has been paying royalties to Epstein's estate and investment. I guess that would make sense, though. If that's how they're paying out, that would make sense to the victims. I don't know.
Where did he get his money from? That's what I want to know.
I've heard theories on that. I've heard theories that...
That's my theory.
I've heard theories that maybe he wasn't the financial genius, but he was... that's what he dealt in money management, I think. He was and then he was a financier, I think.
I mean, it's kind of a convenient trade if you thinking what I'm thinking.
No, I don't. I doubt I'm thinking what you're thinking. I don't know.
Vince knows what I'm thinking.
No, I know what you're thinking. I don't think that way. I think it's a little. I know what you're saying. I speak far right, but.
Hey.
I'm just,
My plan. You should look at it sometime on Discord.
your plan sucks.
Well, then make me a better one, Admir.
You sent it to me on Discord? Spencer's solution?
Yeah.
This better not be like the final solution.
It's a
Let's see.
PDF too.
All
We
right.
have the PDF.
No secure borders or in legal status. No free passes. No blanket amnesty. Only eligible. How are you eligible? And give me quick answers. I need real quick answers.
Just don't be a jackass. So pretty much
I need a
everybody
little
that's
bit
not a
longer. I need a longer one.
no violent misdemeanor, like don't beat people and don't be a felon.
All right, cool. All right.
Everybody else will be like.
And you can't be on Social Security or Medicare. You can't get any federal benefits until you're a lawful permanent resident. How long does that take?
Whatever we decide. I figured 5 to 10 years would probably like get, because that would ultimately be up to the Republicans, right?
What am I trading off for this?
Nothing. It's literally nothing. But you can still get states benefits because that should be up to the state.
You got a 3% FICA payroll tax. Yeah, I like that. You got a 3%.
Like it just enough of a little something to where people can't say even called amnesty, and then you would be full blown citizenship.
The only thing I would say is that if you're going to have,
I didn't put it in here, but I need to.
What if somebody in the first 5 to 10 years, or in the first 10 years, what if they get hurt at work? Then can they access disability?
Well,
what if it's like a permanent injury? Can they get Medicaid then?
I would say
Medicare?
I would think that would be a meaningful compromise because they would had they continued with their trajectory and completed it, they would have qualified for it. So I would say yes.
So you just give them the same requirements that like you and I have. Like I can't access that money now, but if there's a life-changing event, then I can access it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I
I think it
want to
looks
put
good.
on here that I think that they should be able to exercise the second.
Why do they need to do regular check-ins with DHS? What's the point of that?
Whatever the regular check-ins would just be to make sure that they're keeping up with their employment, keeping up, it's more of an accountability thing. It doesn't have to be like.
Well, why do they need to keep up? It doesn't really matter, right? Because you can't access any of that stuff for 5 to 10 years anyways. So if you can't get on these programs, you're either going to work or you're starving, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, would you think that like a yearly, just check-in would because let's say.
I don't think it's necessary. I think that you could track that through tax returns. I just think that you wouldn't need to go check in a place.
Fair enough. I can remove that.
And if you commit a crime, you're in a database anyways. They'll see that you're on a probationary status. I just don't think you would need to do any of that.
Yeah, probably create a little bit extra bloat. That is a good point. I'll remove that.
But that would upset a lot of people in the South who want a job telling immigrants that they're close to being real Americans.
Yeah,
only 6 more years and you can be like me. That's gonna piss off Alabama that they don't get to sit in judgment.
But I also I want them to be able to have their Second Amendment as well.
When? Immediately?
Immediately, during the probation.
Listen. I'm with you there, but whew, the boys down south, they're not going to like that one.
Yeah,
they're not going to like that one at all.
But how are they going to vocalize it?
They're going to call that an invasion so fast.
But they can't. I mean, they can't. The NRA.
Oh, they will. Listen, they drop their principles real fast when it comes to
I don't know,
military-aged men.
Oh God,
they look different.
I think all people should be able to exercise it.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just telling you. I think that you're going to face some opposition from the boys down south.
Maybe we'll just not leave it in there. It'll just be implied.
Maybe we just don't tell them. They're not going to read it anyways.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What about birth? Are you saying birth?
No, I actually think.
Saying birth.
No, I believe this is just me personally. I think they need to clarify it or rewrite. Clarify it or rewrite it. That has nothing to do with this bill, though.
Can I just tell you my issue with that? I actually understand that principle. And then that baby's a citizen, and I agree with that. But that's also a crazy fucking thing that never happens. Like most of the time,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
somebody who was living here illegally. They had a baby. You're not traveling, generally speaking, long distances to different countries when you're about to pop. So it's just we're outlawing it based on this hypothetical of where it can be abused, rather than like the way that it's intended. I think is the way that we do it. But if we had a stricter, like in this instance, the way that you're setting it up, because you would have amnesty and then you would have better border policies and a stronger border, you're not going to run into nearly as many of these problems of, hey, two people who are here illegally just had a baby. You'll have less of those problems. So I think you've already fixed that problem.
That's why I didn't include it in this bill, specifically for like the trust, the immigration trust going to like better technology and whatnot. And anybody who is in the current like amnesty period, if their children would still be like grandfathered in, right? Like obviously.
Yeah.
Because they would be, well, that actually wouldn't even need to be a change because they would be lawful permanent residents. They'd be a conditional resident, but that would still meet the 14th.
Yeah, what if you're inside those first 10 years? Are you allowed to have a kid? And what happens to that kid?
Because you're legal. Like,
I think that's a great loop. That's going to convince people to have more kids. Republicans love that. They've been begging people to have more kids. Now, I know these aren't the kids they want, but we could sell them on it.
We need more kids.
There you go.
The demographics issue with like Social Security and stuff is just not.
I love that you just incentivize chain migration. I love tanker babies and chain migration. I love it.
So I'm like, how can I balance, open borders with a nanny state? Because I'm for one, not the other. So
you know what's crazy about this? Like I see you're a libertarian. I'm reading this. This all makes sense to me. But the funny thing is the reason that we can't have a bill like this is, let's just say we get Rand Paul and an AOC to co-sponsor this bill, and they throw it up there. You're going to hear all the Republicans will come out and they'll be like, this is open borders. This is communism. They'll just crush you with like all this stuff that this bill isn't. And that's why we can't have good things.
No, here's how you get it passed. You trick Trump into saying it was his idea, and then everybody will just support it.
That is a good point. Yeah, I don't think I have an argument for that. That is a good point.
You can like trick him into like if it looks good for his legacy, he'll go 100 miles an hour for it.
That's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to convince all you fucking conservatives to be all in on Medicare for all, which would be like the greatest thing that we could ever do. And Trump would be like the most popular president of all time if he would just do Medicare for all. I've been trying.
I personally hate that idea. However, with the current state, it would be cheaper than what we currently have, because what we currently have is shit.
So Spencer
just yawned. Just yawned.
I did.
What the fuck? God damn it. You heard that? I was like, wait.
Somebody has to do it.
That's devastating.
So Spencer, I wanted to ask you a question, because maybe you change your mind. I don't know. But is it the RTP effect? Because you and I had this conversation, I think last night on Amanda's Live, and you weren't budging on the birthright citizenship.
You was purging.
You weren't budging at all.
It was never in my bill. I still 100% believe that it's not being applied correctly. The point that RTP was making is that with this system and a strong, the money funding actual border, you're gonna not have as many people crossings. So I don't disagree with that. Like I'm saying, it's not required for my bill to be successful. Like this, whenever I started.
No. I'm talking specifically on birthright citizenship.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't. In a million years will I say yes, it's being interpreted correctly, because I don't think it is. My position hasn't changed on that.
Yeah, Admir.
I don't know about that, because last night we had a totally different tune.
Yeah, but
I never
sweet
was-
and palatable, and
That's
right, because you're. That's right. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Well, he just kind of positioned it in a way that I hadn't considered.
Okay, so just in other words, just call me stupid, right?
No, that's not what I'm
In
saying.
other words.
I'm saying I haven't changed my position on the 14th, but it's less of a priority on how he put it, right? Because it is true. If we did have a stronger border and we had this mass amnesty program going forward, it wouldn't be as big of an issue because we'd have all those kinks kind of worked out.
So I just want to get,
Doesn't mean that I
you know,
don't
so I
still
just
want
want to understand. So you are, and correct me if I'm wrong. So you are basically willing to do a kind of like a probationary period between, let's say, 5 and 10 years, because we all know it takes about 7 years right now to do it the legal way.
Right.
So let's just say 10 years. You give them this probationary period. They're making money. They're paying taxes. They're going to benefit from everything.
And we
Right.
don't have to pay to deport them.
Okay. So what would be then this disqualifier, I guess? Let's say what would be your disqualifier in order for them to be deported? What kind of crimes would they have to
So
be
I put on
committed?
here felony, and I don't. It's not even so much. I don't really give a shit if it's a felony or misdemeanor. I really care about, did you like harm another individual? Did you commit SA, or did you beat the crap out of? Like, I don't want those type of people. If somebody shoplifted, like petty shoplifting, I don't give a shit. Like American shoplift, I want it to be reasonable, but I don't want really bad actors here. If I could deport really bad Americans, I would. So I think it's fair. I think it's fairly
You
reasonable.
would deport Americans? That's a wild take. Everybody just gonna let that. I thought Abner was gonna say something to that. We're just gonna let that go unaddressed.
Listen, bro.
But I'm
wild.
trying to balance what could be reasonable enough to get Republicans on board.
So that was the sweetener to get Republicans on board. That hey, we'll think about throwing some Americans out too.
No, that's not in the plan.
I think that's
Sounds
what's called balance.
like that's what you just said.
Can we define balance?
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Don't do that.
I think the things that the Republicans will read this is no citizenship without compliance. So it's like it like tickles the rule of law part of the conservative party.
Like they have to say, like they have to like submit to daddy a little bit.
Yeah.
That checks
What?
out.
Wow.
I think that we've discussed this before. Like I just think that Republicans like kind of have daddy issues. They want somebody to come in there with some force.
Hey, I'm not
they can say
kidding.
yes, daddy.
Well, my position on this has changed within the last few years. Like, I was never going to be for blanket amnesty because ultimately it's all about the dollar for me. But now we're past that. It's not fiscally smart to mass deport. If you were to make the case that it was going to be better for our economy, I would say, yeah, maybe 30 years from now we'll see an ROI. But by that time we'll have a demographics issue, not enough workers going into the system to compensate for the people that are leaving the workforce.
Because white people are you saying white people are impotent? That's what I'm hearing you say.
I mean, just people aren't having enough babies in general. Japan's really having an issue.
I don't know what's going on. I think it might have something to do with so many men being Republican and nobody wants to have children with them. It might have something to do with it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Could or people are just afraid of having kids.
Yeah, it could be. I was terrified to have a kid. That's a terrifying time of your life.
And then your whole world changes.
This is getting too sentimental.
Or
I'm too
could
high
it
to be this sentimental right now.
I know. Or I'm just saying, or could it be that people can't afford to have a child?
No, I think Jay's was right. I'm the woman here, so just saying.
Mine's funnier than Admir's. Admir's might
Well,
be more
yours is
true.
realistic too. So,
What the fuck?
I mean, it is what it is.
Emma, you're married. Chill. And everybody here has
Yeah,
watched you
but
take
I need to
down
go
like
off on you again about
12-pound chicken carcass. You were
Listen,
losing no matter you're losing no matter what, but you won in life, man. You got a great marriage, beautiful wife, kind wife. Some reason she's still married to you. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was telling Amanda how we met and all that. So Amanda says, You know?
And you choose your words wisely.
I know. My bad.
Like a big brother, little brother situation. The YMCA thing.
What the fuck?
Charity event.
She's taller than me, but I'm older, so.
You're in trouble
shit.
now.
Never mind. Never mind.
Admin fell in a
They met
go
through
for him.
assault.
Oh yeah, that is true.
What?
He threw something at her, and
It's not an
he
assault.
got stitches.
He assaulted her.
I didn't.
Damn, dude.
This mother. Thanks a lot, Jen. Is this for the stuff last night, Jen? Is this how we're gonna do this?
Were you looking at her chest? Yes, it's that.
Whoa!
Wait a minute. Wait.
That's what you said yesterday, right?
Wait.
Jen is laughing.
I didn't say. What the fuck?
Admir.
He said it. I have it on live. I have it.
Listen.
And he said,
a gentleman.
He said, my wife is watching, and I'm like, hi, wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Admir.
And then that's when I told him that if my future husband ever did that shit, I'd fucking punch him in his shit. And then I went off on you, Admir.
That's a crazy thing.
Chicken at her? It's not. It's very.
Yes, I do have a rack, so that
I hate this.
See?
No. Why are we doing this? No.
See? Well, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
See, they set you up.
No,
and then
Admir. No, man. No.
What did I do?
None of you. You all need to knock it off.
Set up.
I mean, we're
I
just
took the bait.
I hate this.
I was set up. I took the bait, and now I'm paying for it. What the fuck?
Illusion wants to know define rack.
So I'm not gonna get into that. I don't need. Listen, a rack is a rack.
The heavies.
Can you please define a rack?
I think the other term I saw was jugs.
Yeah, the emoji of milk jugs.
Yeah,
that was a cool one.
You see those
She
videos
calls
where
them,
they walk up?
hey, Admir. She has she calls them Iraq because they're weapons of mass destruction.
Damn.
That joke was awful.
No, that was actually
bullshit. That's a great joke.
That joke sucked.
That's a great joke. That is topical.
That
it's
joke
political.
sucked.
It's a little edgy.
It was kind of tough.
It wasn't that good. Sorry, wasn't good.
I don't know. I find it funny. I just can't laugh because I'm gonna get kicked out of my own life. Shit. Jen scares the shit out of me.
This is not being this isn't being well received in the audience. I might be wrong on this.
Yeah, that's.
Shut up. Some of these people though are just haters. Like Casey's just a hater. She doesn't count. There we go. Sully's good. I got illusion. Yeah, we can't count Casey. That's not fair.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about with Sully.
Yeah, you delete comments, you asshole.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, listen.
Yeah. Damn. Wait, who's doing that? Oh, he just drop her? Now they're both gonna be up. What the fuck? Hello?
Hello?
I don't know. Something happened. I dropped.
How the hell did I get muted? I didn't even say a damn thing, and I get muted.
Jen. Or did Jen drop?
I got her.
Okay.
All right. Well, what are we doing here, folks?
Fight. Let's fight.
Jesus.
I don't want to fight, bro.
How come every time I hear you in another live, you're yelling at somebody, but every time you're in here, we're talking quietly? What's going on with you, Spencer?
Hey, you want to try that again?
No, I know you got my mod status taken away. I know you behind the scenes. I know what you're doing. Power tripping.
Camera behind the camera, not the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Oh,
Spencer, how
Dana,
come you're always yelling at other people? How come you don't
Because
ever
they
yell at me?
typically, that like, I don't know if I just crash out because it's just like they'll ignore just like basic fundamentals. It's like
frustrated.
Spencer, you run from me.
Huh?
You run from me, in fairness.
That makes sense, in all fairness.
Why?
You should.
You should be very scared. Be very scared.
I am. I'm terrified.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Good luck.
Do you and Jen want to debate?
She dog walked him yesterday.
She
For
did.
what?
Jen, is this true? That's a lot of things, Spencer. Spencer, what do you think Jen was wrong about yesterday?
I
don't
just put
remember-
food in my mouth. I'm not trying to talk with my mouth open.
I don't even remember what the fuck.
Oh, okay.
Like we talked.
Here, control yourself.
About.
Damn it.
What the fuck? I just said food.
A fried from today, honestly. Realizing it's like, oh, you want to do a charity thing. Here's all these fucking permits you gotta get. It's like,
What are you talking about? What in the world are you talking about right now?
I'm in Texas is looking at doing like an event to like raise money for the Central Texas flood victims, and it's just like all
There are too many flyers.
No, I just thought, fuck it, I'll just write a check. It's so stupid. The shit
The volunteering is not fun. Yeah.
Special event permit, must permit, not permit. I'm like, fuck it, I'm writing a check.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That sounds devastating.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be great, and then it's like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, those. Jeez.
They make it like impossible to like do charity.
Sounds like it. I can't. This is so uncomfortable. Can somebody step in? This is not nice. What you guys are doing.
Well, Jen walked Spencer, apparently.
No.
He jug walked you. That's what Illusion said, wasn't me. Illusion said it.
I lost weird shit.
I love it.
I mean, I just don't understand. It was Spencer, and then what's the other guy from Idaho?
Liberal insanity, I think.
You seen Jen you seen last night how we went at it. He was all comes in here, hey Jay, how you doing? We're gonna go
I'm
golfing.
very charming.
He's always done that, though. He used to come up on my panel during election.
No, Jay wasn't here for this. He
Oh
tried
God.
Well, he owes my dude $500.
Why?
He made a bet with him, or made an agreement with him, I should say, that if he agreed to debate him, and this was in 2022, that he would donate $500 to any charity of Tommy's choice. So he debated him, and the charity that he chose was, I think, starving kids in Afghanistan. And then he left the app, never paid up.
Wait, which one was this that did this?
Your bestie, Liberal Insanity. That was
That's why he left that part out of his story.
Oh, because he says it didn't happen.
Jen played
He said
it.
something
She
about
played it on my live.
Yeah, Jen always has receipts. Everything that has ever happened on TikTok, Jen has saved on a hard
I know,
drive.
she literally played it.
And so he got really pissed off at me and said I was irrelevant and that I probably lived in a 2-bedroom apartment.
pretty.
How's that even like rude? That's not.
It's not. It's not
sometimes
an
people.
insult.
That's not
It's
even
not
an
an
insult.
insult,
You flexed
but
on him.
but he was showing some in his yard or whatever. So I went into my backyard. So I wouldn't show the inside of my house. Or creepy weirdo.
Here's his fence.
Yep.
Oh, I did. I think I did see that. It was like showing. It looked like. Honestly, I don't know. I think he might live in the same place where like Napoleon Dynamite was filmed. It looks like the same area. It's not like. I mean, it's not like that's a super expensive place in this world. I don't know what the flex is there.
Cornfields.
Well, hashtag pay Nina, I guess.
Pay the Afghan kids.
That's great. That golf course he said he came down and played. If he played it in peak season, that was probably like $200 or $300.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. $500. You left for that?
But he also lies and says that he was a mental health professional and that he counsels women of rape and abuse. But then also doesn't believe victims.
I don't want to say it, but I do seem to attract people who are not what they seem. It seems to be the people that like me the most on this app are usually people pretending to be somebody that they're not.
It's been hit and miss. Some of your
Yeah, but
characteristics,
it's like 90% in one direction. in that direction is not real.
I've always been socially liberal, fiscally conservative.
All right. So what does that mean?
Like I like Ron Paul. I like Rand Paul. I like Massey.
I don't think those guys are socially liberal.
No, they're not. But I like a lot of their.
Who are the social liberals that you like?
I don't really like.
What does that mean?
I don't really like most people that you would consider socially liberal because I have a disagreement on how to solve the problem, not that the issue exists. Like I agree, like I want to
what?
Like the wealth gap. That is obviously a problem.
Okay,
but I'm a free
but that's
market.
not a social issue, right? That's why I was wondering which
No,
ones do you agree with socially.
I think it is a social. Well, like okay, gay marriage. Like one group will say marriage is between a man and a woman. The other group says it should be between whoever the fuck wants to get married. And I'm like, I don't think the government should fucking be involved in marriage. Period.
No, that's not taking a position. That's taking a different position, right?
But if I had to choose, I would choose for gay marriage. So it's like,
okay,
AB rights. Like I think that there should be like 26 weeks has always been kind of my cutoff, and that's just my personal beliefs.
So where you're conservative is that you think the solution to all of this is what, more free market capitalism?
Just any free market. I don't want what we have, which is big corporations in bed with our government.
So would you, in order to accomplish that, would you come in and like break up monopolies?
100%, and get rid of like any. I don't think corporations are people, and they shouldn't be able to just dump endless money into politics.
Yeah, you just sound like somebody. You just sound like a leftist.
Until you hear
those are our beliefs. You know, those are our beliefs, right?
I'm well aware, but you lose.
What are you doing voting for that dipshit Trump?
You lose me on the taxes. That's where like the taxes just get me every fucking time. It's like just a brick wall.
Wait, all we voted for is to not lower taxes.
Yeah, I want lower taxes.
Yeah, but you can't have lower taxes with more spending, right? That doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't want more spending.
So which one's more important? Lower tax? What's more important to you? Low taxes or deficit spending?
They're like deficit's ultimately most important, right?
Okay, then you shouldn't be voting to increase deficit spending.
But I don't think that lowering taxes increases deficits in the way that people say they do.
Like because mathematically it does, but what way does it not?
It's modeled to, but it just historically doesn't happen.
No, like it always increases deficit spending. The 54% of our total debt comes from two tax cuts: the Bush tax cuts and the Trump tax cuts.
Again, I mean, 2017, we go back to the CBO's 10-year baseline. Then they said what, $1.8 trillion was going to be lost in revenue to the TCJA.
Wait, but let's just talk in reality. During those years,
yeah, reality, we're up 1.5
from 2008 to 2018 and 2019. Did we increase or decrease deficit spending?
Well, it was kind of fluctuating. I think it started
increased. We increased.
I think it had a phase out trajectory where it was theoretically supposed to go down. Right?
I know, but I'm saying in reality, what happened?
Oh yeah,
increased deficit spending, and we're still under that tax policy now. And if you just look at if you pull out the Biden stimulus and the Trump stimulus, you just pull those years out and you take the trajectory. It's just going. Deficit spending is increasing. That's Trump's tax cuts.
No. The tax cuts, we didn't take in less revenue. You know that, right? We're up 1.5 trillion over the CBO's baseline.
Yeah, of revenue, but we still increased deficit spending, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm saying, but the tax cuts didn't make us. My point is,
it increased deficit spending. It made deficit spending worse.
It had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with it. I'm saying, deficits.
Hold on.
RTP, hold on. Deficits.
How could it have nothing to do with it?
Because deficits require outlays and your inlays, right?
So are you saying that if we taxed people more, if we had not cut those taxes, is it your contention that if we not cut the taxes, that revenues would have been lower?
Based on every time we've ever done it, yes.
Revenues are never.
Yes, they are.
No. Wait, hold on.
Can you show me any time where revenues actually go down?
Hold on. You haven't heard that, Spencer. This is, I think, where you run into problems. You're not sure what I'm asking yet, right? Or what I'm saying. Or what I'm saying. Okay. So if you're going to look at revenue and you're going to look at like determining whether or not revenue is affected, you have to understand that revenue almost every year goes up.
Yes,
Revenue
because
year over year.
inflation.
So the only way to measure revenue and between two different tax plans is you would have to measure the percentage revenue went up. And the percentage revenue went up was much lower.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying use the
So if we-
CBO baseline, which
so if
they
we
modeled
taxed-
they model this
So
already.
if we taxed them appropriately,
Hold on.
I'm asking, is it your contention that if we had not cut taxes, that revenues would have been less than what we actually brought in?
Undoubtedly, 100% yes. Now,
That is
hold on.
crazy.
Well, I know it sounds crazy.
Explain,
because-
yeah.
Now, that's not always going to be true. There is a tipping point. We just haven't hit it yet. So there's
Tipping
going to
point
be
of what? Wait,
so there's
what?
gonna be a point where like to say that every time we decrease taxes, it increases revenue. Well, it has, but that's not.
No,
the truth.
that's
Hold on.
correlative. It's not causative.
Sure. I concede that 100%.
Okay, well,
But what I'm saying is we know it. Hold on. I'm saying that there would, in theory, be a point where you cut too much taxes and the stimulative effects didn't increase revenue. I'm not making the claim that every time you cut taxes, it will always give you more revenue. Well, then we would just set the taxes to zero. But that's not what I'm claiming. I'm saying we haven't hit that tipping point yet because.
Then why did revenue growth slow?
It didn't. It's up 1.5 trillion.
No.
Now,
No, again, please. The rate of which revenue grew slowed down. So it is going to go. I didn't say it went negative. I said the rate of growth slowed.
Well, so here's my argument. The CBO's 10-year baseline, right, already accounts for these revenue growths, right, due to inflation and all that. Our numbers after we cut the taxes shit on those numbers. We're up almost $2 trillion.
What?
So it's already modeling.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the CBO's 10-year baseline is about.
Are you talking about the current 10-year, the one that the projections?
No. I'm talking about the 10-year budget projections before the TCJA was passed, right? Then they modeled, okay, well, if we cut taxes, we'll look at about $1.4 to $1.8 trillion in lost revenue. The reason is because nobody can properly model economic feedback effects. We can try our best, but it's almost impossible. Now, all of that 1.5 trillion.
But brother, you're talking about
isn't attributed to the TCJA, right? A lot of it was.
Listen, you're talking about projections. There's a real easy way to figure out if you're right or wrong, and it doesn't require us making any guesses.
Well,
you have to look at revenue growth by year, and you have to look at revenue growth in the years post the tax cut versus the revenue years pre-tax cut, and you have to look. Oh my God! And you have to look at the percentage of increase of growth, right?
No. We already do that. So there's a CBO says here's what we're CBO says here's what we're going to take in, right? So if we don't cut taxes, right? If we just nothing was changed, this is how much we should be taking in. Then he cut taxes. We took in more than that. I don't understand the argument.
The rate of growth. So if we look at 2017, that's when the tax cuts were passed. We were looking at about 40, let's see, it was, if I go quarterly growth until the tax cuts went into effect, which would, September, which would have been like the summer quarterly growth, 37%, 42%. First quarter growth is down 37%, then it goes to 40, 36. So basically when Trump takes over, we have annual quarterly growth at 37%. By the time Trump is back in office in 2025, do you know what our yearly revenue growth is? Remember, it started at 30. His first, it was 42% before he took office. The highest he got was 40%. Year over year growth. What do you think it was at when he took office in 2025?
I don't know, but
18%, nearly half.
I'm not accounting for that at all.
It is slowed down. I am. I'm telling you.
So you're saying we took in more revenue,
Spencer,
but we grew less.
The amount of revenue that we were generating, the growth every year slowed down. We were growing at a slower rate.
Like, are you talking about GDP growth, or I'm seriously
revenue. That is receipts.
Okay, maybe I'm confusing you. Did we take in more revenue than we were supposed to?
That's not relevant.
It is relevant because that was the whole premise of my argument.
All right, let's try this, Spencer. Let's say that I'm trying to. You have a store, and you have a store for 10 years, and because of inflation, you're going to have revenue that goes up every year.
Right.
In the United States case, what the revenue goes up every year because we have more people in the workforce plus inflation, so the revenue is going to go up, right?
Right.
So if you made a new policy at your store and you wanted to determine is you would look at, because every year previous to this policy in your business, you would look at the rate of growth and you would say we're averaging receipts and we need to grow at 40% over year in order to maintain this. At the end of 8 years, let's say you started at 40% and that was your goal. And at the end of 8 years, your average growth is between 18 and 22%. Would you say that the policy you put in place slowed revenue growth?
Yeah, you're looking at revenue as...
Right? No, please, no. Just answer the question I'm asking. Would you say that policy slowed revenue growth? In this situation, with your business, you were growing at 40%, now you're growing at 18%. Would you say that slowed revenue growth?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we did with our receipts too. We were at 40% year over year, and by the time Trump got back in office, as these tax cuts are expiring, we're growing at 18%. Okay. It was a colossal failure.
Hold on, I see what you're doing. Please tell me you're not using it as a percent of GDP.
I am counting revenue
as a percent,
not percent of GDP. I'm counting the percentage that the revenue grew year over year. So if I'm looking at 2018, I would be comparing it to 2017 and how much more revenue we got. And I would say when we put this in place, we were about 40% growth year over year. And when we were done with it, we were at 18. That is it. That statistically, that is absolutely a failure.
I don't understand what does the percent growth mean? Because it's already modeled into the CBO's report. You know that, right? If you pull
the percent growth is measuring your growth.
Yes, if you pull up table 1.1 on the CBO's 2017 baseline projections, it gives you the projected revenue for each year, and it is going up to account for all.
Why are you using projections and not the actual numbers? I'm very confused by this. I don't give a fuck what the projections said, because the projections could be assuming things that are wrong. We have the data now. There's no reason to lie on a projection when we have 8 years of data. Let's look at the 8 years of data rather than the projection.
Right. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we're going to take the 8 years of actual data.
Correct.
We know what we took in. Now, what are we going to compare that to see what the difference of the tax cuts are?
The average year over year growth of revenue before we cut taxes.
Okay, so the 8 years under Obama, how much was tax revenue going up?
Well, we were at about 40%. Let me see how far back this chart goes.
We're saying we're taking.
So if I go from up until Trump took office, I only have from 2012 here. So I have the last 4 years of the Obama administration. And the worst Obama saw was about 37%.
I don't, then why is that not modeled in the CBO? Because that's 1.6 trillion would be 2.3 trillion with 40% is a huge jump year over year. I don't know how.
It's actually, that was pretty low. Like if you look at when coming out of 08, like in 2000, quarter two of 2012, we were at 96%, then 88, 80, like we were in the 80s for a while and it leveled out. But there's no evidence that this brought in more revenue unless you're only counting dollar amount. But that doesn't equate for inflation.
Yeah, I'm only looking at nominal. So let's see.
So it doesn't work.
Let's see here. Trying to see what the percent revenue growth was. Give me a second.
And Q. I don't know if y'all want to check.
No.
Put them two, Admir?
No, they're just from Kazakhstan, so yeah, I don't need them. Okay.
Yeah, Admir doesn't like anybody except for Jay, so.
Fuck.
I'm going to look at my numbers here, but I'm looking at
2009 to 2010 was about 2.6% revenue growth. 2010 to 2011 was 6.5. 2011 to 2012 was 6.5. We did have a jump in 2012 to 2013 of 13.5.
I have to tell you something. The numbers that I were looking at were not from the United States. I just looked at it. I'm like, damn, 40% is high when I was reading that. Those are not from the United States. I pulled up the right ones now.
Okay.
I think that did sound high.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I thought it was maybe as a percentage of GDP or something. Like,
no, you'd still want to look at just the percentage of increase. That's the number that we want right now, is the percentage increase.
yeah, and there were some outliers. I don't know. Let me see if I can calculate.
Yeah, so if I here we have 2016 4.17 trillion, 2017 4.14, 2018 4.07. So it went down the first 3 years of the Trump administration, then a slight bump back up in 2019, and then back down again in 2020.
Yeah.
It was decreasing.
You're always going to decrease your taxes because obviously you cut the rates, and they're not going to stimulate. The stimulative effects aren't going to kick in immediately, right? So
wait, hold on. So here's the thing: we're increasing debt. This proves the point.
Increase because of the interest rates. Like, our
interest rates and new spending, right?
And new spending, yes.
Right. And so if we are decreasing, we decreased total revenue and we spent more.
No, not total revenue. Total revenue, we're up 1.5 trillion.
No, if you I'm looking at federal government revenue from 2017. I see it at 4.14 trillion. Then I see 2018, 4.07 trillion. That's a drop of 0.07 trillion. Then back up to 4.15 trillion, so up 8, and then down 11. Again, for an overall drop of total revenue.
Yeah, but we were only on pace to be taking in 3.4 trillion, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, and then
but we were on an upward trajectory, right?
Yeah, but we crushed those numbers. We crushed over the projections. What I'm saying. So
no. 2015, Obama was still president, and we had 4.22 trillion in revenue. Trump was never above 4.22 trillion.
No. I'm talking about only income tax revenue, not like tariff revenue, all the other. I'm literally just looking at the taxes.
Okay. So what's the total number for just income tax?
We're up 1.5 trillion for income taxes, but a lot of that's inflationary. I don't know how much. I'd say I wouldn't have a problem if somebody said 1 trillion of that was inflationary, but we're still half a trillion in extra revenue.
Not half a trillion. It went from 1.46 trillion to 1.5 trillion. It's up $0.4 trillion. But again, you can look at that graph too. You can see that that's payroll. Sorry. Income. We went 1.97 to 2.04, so it went up like 0.7. But even there, you can see, like, if you look at that graph, look, before Trump came in, it was going up. When Trump came in, it leveled off. When we put in this in the tax cuts, there's not a single graph. Even though my first one was way off, somehow that graph also followed in shape. But there's not a single graph that shows that we were bringing in the revenue was growing at a faster rate. All these graphs show that revenue growth either went negative or slowed.
I don't know. I've never looked at like the rate. I just look at what the 10-year baseline is. And did we exceed it or did we go below it? That's
just you choosing to not look at the math that matters and rely back on this math that you feel like makes your argument. Why aren't you just going with the math that matters?
Because the argument wasn't, hey, the TCJ is going to cause us to take revenue at a percentage rate change. No, it's like, hey, we're going to lose 1.8 trillion in revenue. That was the argument. It's going to come. But why didn't the CBO in the big beautiful bill?
That's projected revenue, right?
Yeah, and we crushed that.
Yeah, but we still had revenue, but it still was worse. It doesn't matter if we were. No, that's the thing. Like, if you set a goal to get 40% on your next test because you got 20% this time, cool. It was better than you expected, but you still failed. No matter what, if we beat projections or not, I'm just looking at, is this a better policy than what was in place beforehand? And it's clearly a worse policy.
Okay, numbers were better than what the CBO's own baseline was. I don't know
worse
how
than
else to
Obama.
do it.
So I would go back to at least the level of taxes pre the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. I certainly wouldn't cut them more.
What do you, and whose tax, you mean the Bush tax cuts that were so bad that Obama made them permanent?
Obama didn't
Same
make
thing with
all the
Biden.
Bush tax cuts
He let
permanent.
some sunset, but he absolutely signed them into permanent law. We were
Which
under Bush.
ones?
We were under Bush's tax plan when Trump took office.
No, we
Were we
weren't.
not?
No, we
Yeah,
weren't.
okay, yeah. Obama signed the Bush tax cuts into law.
Obama signed the 2001 Bush tax cuts into law.
He let a few provisions sunset, but yes.
Which ones were because we can just look at tax rate by year. So I don't remember what the tax rate is or tax brackets by year. I can see when they changed.
It doesn't matter about the law because,
Okay, that's the law. No, that's what these are. These are adjusting tax brackets.
I'm talking about the income thresholds for each of the brackets, not the actual brackets themselves.
Sure, but we still look at the percentage, right?
Yeah, December 2010 is when he signed it. The Tax Relief, Unemployment Insurance, Reauthorization, and Job Creation Act.
So the top marginal
tax cuts for 2 more years, and then in 2013 he signed the American Taxpayer Relief Act of 2012. This permanently extended the Bush-era tax rates for incomes up to $400,000, $450,000 for joint filers. High earners did go up from 35 to 39.6.
Yeah, so we raised it all. Yeah, so look what happened. We kept. Wait, I know this is the thing. This is great evidence. All he did is he kept the Bush tax cuts. He kept for the poor and the middle class, and he raised taxes on the rich. And what did that mean for us? It stimulated economic growth. We had higher revenues, and we reduced the like every president has had deficit spending since Clinton. But under Obama, deficit spending was getting closer to zero every single year. So that's really good evidence that raising taxes, even a small amount on the rich, leads to better economic outputs than the Bush tax cuts or the Trump tax cuts. And all we had to do was raise it by like 2%.
We also did a shitload of QE with basically just infinite free money that we eventually have to pay the piper for because the Fed just, not his fault, right? The Fed just basically kept rates artificially low.
And yet with all that extra spending, we were still somehow able to get closer to zero on deficit spending under Obama than under Bush or under Trump. They're far more fiscally responsible. And if we would have continued another 8 years of Obama, we probably would have been close to a surplus every year. That's the direction we were trending in.
No, because you got to look at the demographics of the people retiring. That's our biggest chunks of spending comes from like non-discretionary, like medical.
Yeah, those are paid for.
If we would have passed the Medicaid cuts under that Obama wanted to get done, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Medicaid cuts?
Yeah, the provider tax, the ones that everybody's complaining about in the big beautiful bill.
I don't know which ones you're talking about. The Medicaid provider tax?
There's like a scam that the states are using to kind of finesse the federal government. And it was in every one of his budget proposals, but the Republicans, I guess, fought him on it like jackasses. And then now when they pass it, everybody's bitching. It's like, this actually was Obama's and the CMS's.
What does that have to do with any of this?
Well, we wouldn't have such a deficit because that's
come on. How much is that? How much did that cost us?
It's over $1 trillion. If we would have done it then, it probably would have saved us
over $1 trillion in what?
In savings, because the states are basically cheating the federal government to pay more of the Medicaid costs than they're supposed to.
And how are they doing this?
It's called a Medicaid provider tax scam.
But what's the scam?
So basically how it works is, it's a matching rate. So the states, let's say they spend $50 billion, the feds match $50 billion. Then the states go back to the hospitals and tax them a specialty tax, and they claw the money back to the coffers, re-spend that money back to the providers, re-triggering matching funds again. They put a cap on it in the 80s because it was so bad. And they said, okay, well, you can only cheat up to 6%. And all this said was, hey, we're going to drop it to 3.5%. And everybody's like, oh, all the hospitals are going to shut down and all the states that are cheating, including red states, are pissed off because now their state's going to have to fill that budgetary gap because they weren't supposed to be getting all this money disproportionately, if that makes sense. If you go read any of Obama's budgets, it's literally like Medicaid provider tax. Like, he hated it.
because
Yeah,
it's
but I'm reading about it now. It says that they were in effect, they were in place before before the ACA.
the 6%. Yeah. He wanted to lower it to 3.5%, which is what they just did in the BBB. Like,
Okay, and I didn't know anybody who was opposed to that.
I'm guessing the reason it didn't get passed because Republicans must have fought it. I don't see his own party fighting him on it. But if we would have taken care of that then we wouldn't have had such a problem now.
I mean, that's kind of a silly. Like, Republicans are the ones fighting it right now. And you're blaming it on Obama for. You should have known Obama.
I'm saying if it would have been better if we did it under Obama. Is what I'm saying. If the Republicans wouldn't have fought him.
I know, but what we're discussing here, this entire discussion is that, like, you agree with Republicans on fiscal policy, but like you're wrong about all of it. You're wrong about the impacts. You don't seem to know that it is slowing our growth and it's increasing deficit spending.
Okay, so taking more of their money, like
it works.
If raising taxes is just going to give us, there's no economic fee, so there's no situation in which raising taxes wouldn't hamper growth and result in less income.
Well,
why not just take it all?
Do you believe wealth inequality is a problem?
That's the single biggest problem.
Okay, when you look at the expansion, like it used to be that like the middle class owned like 60% of the wealth, and it's been completely, and it was pretty steady for a long time.
Right.
When did it change?
It's been progressively changing.
But when did it change?
I would say we really started seeing major impacts personally, probably around the Bush Jr. era.
A little earlier. Would you be surprised to know that if you look at the graph, you can basically see an exact correlation from the Reagan tax cuts and the introduction of trickle-down economics to the massive increase in wealth inequality? Just go look at a wealth inequality chart by year, and you will notice that it was 1982.
It was actually dropping under Trump.
Wealth inequality went up under Trump. We had the largest transfer of wealth in the history.
Before 2020, we'll look at the IRS because IRS and Treasury put out these bulletins, and I think you might be surprised that the wealth inequality was the rich.
But hold on. I need you to understand that when you say under Trump, I'm talking about Trump's tax policy, right? So that's going to include all the Biden years too.
Yes. We started.
Right. Wealth inequality went up.
Huh?
Wealth inequality, like the gap between the middle class and the rich, went up between 2017 and now.
Yeah, because we had major stimulus and we debased the shit out of our currency.
Right, but that's the thing. We had major stimulus and major stimulus to the middle class, and all of that money wound up in the hands of the wealthy. How did that happen? Because our tax system and our economic structure funnels money up and not down.
I agree partially with what you said. Our economic system unequivocally does, but it's not from taxes. It's from the debasement of our currency.
No, it's because of taxes.
It's literally not.
Well, then why does it perfectly coincide with our switch to trickle down economics?
Because it's literally mandated. The Federal Reserve has a dual mandate. Have you ever heard that term, the dual mandate?
Wait, so did that start in 1982?
It's been happening since 1913.
Okay, so why did we not see wealth inequality flip and then massively skyrocket to benefit the wealthy before 1982?
Because the deficits weren't as massive as they are now.
Why do we have big deficits?
Well, because it is literally
because we take in less than we spend, right?
So maybe.
And when did the massive deficits? And when did the massive deficit spending start happening? About 1982.
I mean, look, like
they all go together, bud. They all go together.
I know that Keynesians believe that.
I'm not a Keynesian. I'm just doing simple fucking math. The thing is like even trying to Keynesian this, like you're talking about Art Laffer. They gave or Kinsey, Art Laffer buried an entire state in 3 years. And the only reason that it hasn't buried the United States is because states have a balanced budget amendment. They have to balance their budget. So they can't just run massive deficits, but our country can, which is why trickle-down economics like lasts for a while because we're allowed to have deficit spending. But if we weren't allowed to have deficit spending, we would not be doing these tax cuts.
Let's say we can't. We can't have a deficit, right? And we're not going to cut spending because Democrats
Like they'll never cut spending.
Either
They'll cut
Republicans
military.
don't either. Stop saying that's Democrats.
No, I
When's the
agree.
last time Republicans did it?
Hold on, I'm not saying they do.
You don't think Democrats? You don't
Hold on,
think
I'm agreeing with
Democrats
you.
would cut spending on the?
They'll cut military.
Exactly.
I would cut it
What
too.
will
I would
Republicans cut?
They'll cut social safety nets.
Yeah, which are paid for. So that's not spending because those are paid for already. We already have receipts for that.
Well, we kind of
So
already
they want
blew all
to
that
cut.
money.
They want to cut benefits so that they don't have to increase taxes, right?
Well, it's no, because I disagree.
What do you mean no?
I
Wait, they're
disagree
paying-
with your premise.
Wait,
that
are we not cutting benefits to pay for this tax break?
to pay for this would assume we're going to result in less revenue. Again, that's never fucking happened.
That's part of no.
It
That's,
just doesn't. This argument.
that's what the Republicans are claiming is that the reason we have to cut all this money to Medicaid is to pay for the lost revenue that we will lose by cutting taxes.
Exactly. And how are they? Hold on. How are they calculating lost revenue? They're going to what? The CBO's projections, according to their own baseline. They're saying it's going to cost us because we're going to take in this amount less than we should in tax revenue. But that's never fucking happened ever. It just doesn't happen.
But it doesn't matter if they get that number right if revenues are slower. If we slow the growth of revenue, which is why
How are they going to be
you keep going back
slower
to the
if
reason
they're
you keep
more
go-
than they
just
were
listen,
supposed to be?
Spencer, just listen.
I don't understand.
Spencer, what is a better set of facts? A set of data that has already happened or a prediction?
Your entire argument
Which of those? No, just answer. This is a simple question. Which of those is a more reliable set of facts? Data that is complete or projections?
I agree with the data that's complete, which is why
Okay, so
I
I'm
throw
using the
theory out
data.
fucking
So
window.
hold on. So I'm using the data that's complete that
Yeah,
says
which is-
the growth of revenue slowed and the growth of deficit spending increased. So I don't care what the projections say.
Forget the
I've
deficit
seen
side.
what tax
Right.
cuts do.
Right.
They
Forget the deficit
always
side. Hold on.
slow growth
Right.
and they
Okay.
always increase deficit spending.
Let's do
always.
it one. No, they don't. They're two separate sides of the coin. Let's just
They're not.
address your single point of you say it slows the growth. My
Of revenue.
argument is
Of revenue.
of revenue based on you're looking at like on nominal terms because I don't even know where you're getting your basis to compare it to. If not by the CBOs,
The previous year's growth.
Right. So the previous growth in taxes, I will map this out, and if you're right, I'll tell you right. The point that I'm making is it didn't increase the deficit because in order to do that, you would say we took in less than we should have based on our own government saying this is the mapped out growth rate.
No.
This is how much tax revenue we should be taking in every year.
No.
And then every time we cut taxes, we fucking crush that
Listen.
number and take in more.
Listen, the reason their numbers were off is because they were unable to predict exactly how the economy worked.
Right, I agree.
Hold on, Spencer. If we increased revenues, but we slowed the growth of revenues, then you could also deduct that if we had not cut taxes for rich people, that there is no evidence historically that growth or wages would have slowed. So receipts would have gone up and our economy would have reacted in the same way, potentially would have grown quicker because historically speaking, if you look at the Obama years, we were growing with a higher tax rate than Trump had cut it down to. And we were seeing wage growth increase at a quicker rate than after these. We have a lot of data here that tells us that all this did was slow down the growth of our revenues while we increased spending, which is why deficit spending grew by percentage. The amount we were spending as deficit spending grew every year. But under Obama, it was shrinking every year. That is really good data over and over that shows us that cutting that tax rate was fiscally irresponsible.
If we add it all up, if we add up all of the tax revenue, like year over year, see the problem is that the data is obfuscated because when you have a really high year, even let's say that if you're only looking at the year over year, like tax income growth, right? And let's say you had a really good year and it jumped up, 15% over the previous year. But then the next year it was still really high. Well, you're going to have a reduction in there. But I
Okay, but
believe
that didn't happen. So this hypothetical that you're
Well, it did in
citing around didn't
2023.
exist.
It did in 2021 and 2022. Year-over-year tax revenue was up 18% and 21%,
And
which
you
is
would,
like
but you would attribute that to what?
I said, inflationary effects.
No, people weren't working. There was no revenue. People weren't working.
We still took in 21%
listen,
extra
listen.
revenue.
No, after
After.
once the country opened back up and people started going back to work,
Yes,
receipts were down. Receipts were down because nobody was working. So it would make
No,
sense that
receipts were
as
up, actually.
they were down as far as growth goes, and they went up during COVID. You said 2021 and 2022 and 2023, right?
I'm adding them all up right now.
No, but they went up in 2022 and 2023 is what you're saying, right?
No, 2021 and 2022, the tax rates went up 18% and 21% year over year. Then they dropped 9.3% in 2023 compared to 2022.
That makes sense because in 2020, COVID started the end of 2019, and then we had 2020 was where most of the country was shut down. And you had red states obviously opening up earlier, so people were going back to work. And when you're measuring this, you're doing year over year. So 2021 receipts are going to be compared to 2020 when there's going to be a lot less receipts because a lot less people were working. And then by 2022, not only did you have everybody basically back at work, but jobs that had shut down were coming back. Those were the recovery jobs, the jobs that were new businesses opening up to replace businesses that had closed down. So it makes sense that in those 2 years, you would see revenue growth because more and more people were working.
What was
if
the
you
year?
look before that, so if
What
you
was
look
the year
though
before
before,
Trump
if
took
you,
office? Do you know what the actual tax growth
I
was?
told you what it was. It was higher. I
It
think
was
that
0.6. It was
it was
less
like
than 1%.
0.6 what?
It was 0.6% growth, less than 1% growth.
The
The
year
year before-
from 2016 to
No, just-
2017?
Yeah, from 2016 or 20. I think this is probably going to say 2016, which is 2015's filings, but the taxes went up 0.6% fiscal year. So fiscal year 2016.
Yeah, but they went down from 2017 to 2018. Look at that.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, well, that was when the tax cuts happened.
But well, no,
So
they were
why-
still
so we took
positive.
it- so it went down,
It
right?
didn't go down until 2020. In 2018, it was plus 0.4%. But I'm saying, I think
it went
if you
down in
average it out,
2022, didn't
if
it?
you
Didn't it go
average
down
it
one of
out,
those years?
if you average it out, it's still higher year-over-year growth than Obama.
Yeah, but no, not year over year.
Well, absolutely it is.
Over the final year. But if you look at the chart from Obama, was it growing every year?
No, it wasn't. It actually went
It
from
flattened lined at the last year, right? That's
20
still growing. 0.6 is still growing, right?
yes.
Okay, so it was
And-
growing.
and
It was
COVID
growing
is
year
the
over
only-
year, and
the
it was
COVID
growing
was
at
the only
about. It
negative.
was growing much faster than during the Trump years for most of his presidency. But by the end of his presidency, admittedly, and
Well, of course, I don't disagree
Yeah.
with that. Because it takes multiple years for those economic feedback effects to start kicking in.
Right, but if you look, you can go look at the Bush tax cuts and look at the Trump job cuts, and unequivocally, revenues drop. The percentage that they grow drops, and the spending increases. So it is fiscally more irresponsible. I was a libertarian too. I went Republican, I went libertarian, and now I'm here. And I got here on math. The reason I arrived to this conclusion, this is one of the first things that I changed. They're just lying. Republicans are just lying about being fiscally responsible. They are far less fiscally responsible, but they also know that Americans are always going to be selfish and be like, I want lower taxes. So they just vote
Most
for
people
it.
don't even pay taxes, though. It's kind of.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a popular thing. Most of these people that voted for lower taxes, this won't affect them at all, but they just like the sound of it.
Yeah, because you can't really cut taxes on the majority of Americans because the majority of Americans don't really pay income tax.
Yeah, so if we're not paying our bills and we're low, and except for the rich people, they're doing
The
great.
rich people pay all of the tax, though.
And they're more rich than ever. So they must not be paying enough, huh?
But that's not. See, that's I think maybe where we differ, right?
That's
like
crazy.
if you want to raise taxes and it increases revenue, I don't like it, but I think it's more important than the system crashing. I'll grant you there. If we can say, hey, raising taxes is going to absolutely give us more overall revenue.
It
right?
would.
If that
It's
was
proven
ever,
time and time again.
Okay, then how are we explaining that when we cut taxes, we're still gaining more revenue than we were before we cut the
Brother,
taxes?
we're gaining revenue at a slower rate.
It's not at a slower.
It
Okay,
is at a slower rate. You can see if you're looking at a graph, you can see it
I
levels
just
out.
told you that the rate was higher under Trump and Biden than it was under Obama year over
Yes,
year.
it goes up every year, but the percentage change is slower. Brother, it's always, every president has the highest number there. Every fucking president has the highest number of total receipts. We have to look at year over year change. It slows after tax cuts. Just look at the graph. You can just
for
look
the
at the
first
shape.
year, too,
Just
but
look
then it
at the shape
normalizes.
of the graph. If you just simply look at the shape of the graph, you'll see.
Okay, my issue is that what's causing the wealth gap is the destruction of the dollar, not the
The
tax.
destruction of the dollar is coming from the wealth gap.
No.
Yes,
The
it
wealth gap.
is,
Hold on,
because if
the
my
wealth
dollar
gap.
doesn't stretch as far, then they already have these percentages. They will protect themselves, and then we cut taxes for them, and we
No,
give
let me
them
explain it.
loopholes. And on top
Yeah,
of
I
that,
don't want those.
they
Hold
get
on,
to
I don't want
benefit
those.
from compound interest. All of this benefits the rich and creates
Hold on,
a larger wealth gap.
Yeah. So the reason that the destruction of the dollar is so bad is because if you own assets like real estate and stocks, you don't give a shit because your assets appreciate. They bubble up, if you will. But the people wanting to buy milk for their kids' cereal are actively getting robbed. My whole position is that
Then
all
tax the rich people
okay,
and
so
don't let all of their assets
okay.
sit there untouched.
Okay, hold on. Or we could just address the actual problem that causes the debasement of the dollar.
Which is
I wanna
what?
treat
Printing more money?
the entire banking system needs to be redone.
Yeah, that's a cop out. What is causing it? Like, is it printing more money?
Quotation marks, yes.
Printing too much money?
Yeah, the money supply is
Why do we
artificially
print
manipulated.
more money? Like, let's take COVID. Why did we have to print money during COVID?
Well, that was in response to disaster, but they're
I know.
legally-
Let's just talk about it. Why did we have to print money during COVID?
because it was a disaster.
Okay. Did any rich people need a handout?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I'm against all subsidies, by the way, for corporations of any
Okay.
kind.
So,
Or
if
bailouts.
the majority of our country, more than 60% of our country, is living paycheck to paycheck, and if we
Yeah.
have a disaster like this, and all of the rich people are fine,
Yes.
all of the middle class and poor are fucked.
Ignore the
Do you think maybe that's a bad system?
Yeah. And here's what I'm going to take it a step further. Fuck the disaster. It is literally mandated that they rob you 2%. That they rob you 2%.
How would you
can't-
close this? How would you close
can't.
this? Okay, how do you close the wealth inequality gap?
You stop letting the fucking shenanigans that go on legally behind closed doors
Like
in the
what?
banking sector. Okay, for instance, I can go buy a $10 million in treasury bonds and then loan it out, and then you can loan it out and then loan it out again, and then that person can loan that.
Who can do that? Can you and I do that, or can the rich do that?
Only the big bankers.
Yeah. So this sounds like a
the banking
loophole,
system.
a
Yes.
loophole,
Yes.
and a tax break that is given.
Yes, it's a corporate. Yes,
So
it's the
tax the
entire
rich,
banking.
right?
Well, not the individuals,
Oh,
but the banking sector. Yes. If that's what you mean by rich, absolutely.
Sure. Tax
But
the shit out of those
Not-
transactions.
No.
Who do you
I
think
don't
would
say
oppose
tax
that?
it. I don't say tax it. I say make it illegal.
Yeah, that's closing a tax loophole. So then they would pay more in taxes.
No. They just wouldn't be able to create money out of thin fucking air like it was a Harry Potter wand. I mean, like you. I don't know if you know this.
So then, same argument. Then you're not creating artificial value. Then.
Well, they are, because if I go buy a house, right, and I borrow $500,000 from a bank, and the bank gives me $500,000 of literally digital money that they created, that's what causes inflation. And then that works as long as I make my payments, right? Because then they just delete it out of the system. And I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. But I don't know if you know this, but you know that there's no reserve requirements on all the banks right now?
I did know that, but again, I'd like to talk about how like this is a solution, though.
So I think the Federal Reserve policy, deficits is obviously a big one. I would like to shore up a lot of the corporate loopholes. That you can make the tax policy one page long, but when
You know what else could stop all of these bond problems that we have?
Stop bailing the fuckers out?
We could have a balanced budget, and then we wouldn't have to sell debt.
Oh, well, can I get an amen?
Oh, okay, but now go look at deficit spending by year, and you tell me what years we are closer to zero, and you'll notice that you'll notice that when Obama's president, we're trending closer towards zero deficit, and when Republicans are in office, you'll see us moving away from that zero line, which means Republicans are less fiscally responsible.
I mean, look at
right. Wouldn't that be a good way to judge which one's more fiscally responsible? You can see when Republican tax policy is in place.
Let's judge who controls the House. Let's look at economy.
No, you have to look at the tax policy here. Not this isn't about party, it's about tax policy.
I'm saying we don't look at presidents, but presidents are in charge of
I'm looking at by year. Just look at the years and determine whose tax policy was in place.
Let's see. Let's go back to Clinton. He raised taxes to the moon. It was so fucking bad.
To the moon.
Yeah, hold on.
What was the top tax rate under Clinton?
Hold on. It was, this. It was so fucking bad that Democrats gave up control of the House and the Senate for the first time in like 53 fucking years. And then, lo and behold, Republicans balanced the budget, had a surplus, cut the capital gains tax, and real wages grew to like 46 cents versus the 2 pennies that we did when we raised taxes. Even Clinton said, some of you are probably mad because I raised your taxes a bit too high, and I agree with you. It didn't work. So what did Clinton do?
Hold on.
Yeah, he cut taxes in a second term, got a surplus. But it was so cheap for everybody.
The top tax rate during the Clinton administration,
effective.
We can only say effective isn't really going to work here, right?
Yeah.
Right? We can't because everybody's effective rate is different. But the top marginal tax rate under the Clinton administration from 93 until 2001, including in those years was when we had the surplus, the top tax rate was 39.6%. It is now 35%, and deficit spending is going up. You are giving me a great argument for why we should take the top marginal tax rate and move it back to 39.6% because that's the last time. So the last time we had a budget surplus was when we taxed only the rich at a higher rate.
Okay.
That's a pretty good argument for me.
Yeah, but you're leaving out probably one of the largest parts of our deficit. It's the fact that we decided to do all this fucking borrowing when interest rates were at their peak, and now interest rates are $1 trillion fucking dollars a year. But when Trump left, there were like $300 billion a year. Like, we didn't give a shit about the interest rates and went fucking ape shit on restructuring.
This is not at all relevant hold on. This is not This is not at all relevant to the effects on a higher marginal tax rate for rich people on the deficit. There is a clear answer here. When the top marginal tax rate is higher, we have surpluses or are closer closer to zero on deficit spending. But when we lower that top marginal tax rate, we move further away from the zero line.
I hope we raise taxes, and I hope it does what it's done literally every fucking time that it does it every time. So I don't get this, the math ain't mathing for me. How do we always say that tax cuts are going to result in all this doom and gloom, but yet it just magically, I know you're going to say the percentage change, it just doesn't do what the left thinks it's going to do, and it always literally does exactly what people on the right say when we cut taxes.
So when you cut taxes, you said what it's going to do is increase the deficit.
Revenue. No, it's going to increase the revenue. The deficit is a separate factor of the budgetary process.
It's not separate. The deficit is literally revenue versus expenses.
And
there are only two components to the deficit.
Yes, and revenue went up due to the tax
and
cuts.
The expenses. And if your expenses go up and your revenue
you can't blame that on
and your revenue growth slows, then you are fiscally less responsible.
Didn't slow, my guy.
The rate of growth slowed. We've already covered this 50 fucking times.
And I showed you.
Now I think you're being disingenuous.
No,
because you want to factor it in.
No,
because you have to go look at the Bush tax cuts too. You're only looking at the Trump tax cuts. I said the Bush and the Trump tax cuts.
And I told you we were under the Bush tax cuts under Obama because he made them fucking permanent because they were so fucking good.
He didn't make all of them permanent. He increased the top line for rich people. He increased taxes. Yes. Yes, and guess what?
Yes.
Deficit spending went down under Obama.
Oh God, deficits. What were the outlays?
What?
His income was a lot fucking higher. Why did the same reason why Biden didn't
That's
repeal
tax
the,
revenue
why
at a
didn't
higher
Biden-
rate. Yeah,
let me
I
ask
know
you
that it
this.
was higher because he
Why
had a
didn't he
higher
repeal the
top
TCJA?
because he
Because
had a
that's what
higher
Biden said he was
top
gonna do.
marginal tax rate.
RTP,
And you
come
already
on.
said that
I'm-
50% of America doesn't pay taxes. So if you cut their taxes or raise their taxes, it doesn't make a big impact.
No,
but
we
if
couldn't.
you
We
raise the
could stop giving
taxes,
people
if
free
you
money.
raise the taxes on the 10% that pay most of our taxes, then tax revenues also
Or-
go up.
You know what else we could do? We could stop giving negative tax liabilities to people just for fucking existing.
Yeah, but
you should
we could do
get a
that.
free
We could do that, but this
$7,000
argument is whether or not Republicans or Democrats are more fiscally responsible, and you are looking at the data.
Okay, so
You're looking at the data here that tells you.
Hold on, how is it fiscally responsible to borrow money and issue marketable securities when interest was fucking abysmal? Now our interest, just a loan to service our debt, is $1 trillion fucking a year. That didn't happen because
Would you like it if I came to your house and took a shit on your porch?
No.
Okay. Would
so
you like
are we
it
gonna blame this on Trump
now? Let's say I shit on your porch, and that's inconvenient. But now every day I come to your porch and I shit one more time than the last. So day 2 you got 2 shits. Day 3 you got 3 shits. Day 4 you got 4 shits, and it keeps getting worse. Under the Republican plan of cutting taxes for the rich, the amount of shits left on your doorstep every day goes up. But under Democrats, you still get a shit. But the second day, that shit's just a little bit smaller. And there's still only one, but it's a little bit smaller. Under
listen,
Democrats, the amount of shit you have to clean up goes down, and under Republicans, the amount of shit you clean up goes up. One of those is a better option.
This is where y'all lose me.
One of those two things is a better option.
No.
You seem to be picking the
It
option
makes a
where
great
there's more
analogy,
shit.
but it's zero fucking sense. And this is why you lose people that are centrist, because you keep talking about, the rate of growth was slower
Here's
than
what I want you to look at. Spencer, go to Google real quick. No, you have to look this up. You have to look this up.
I gave, okay,
Go
give
to
me the
Google.
chart.
Go to Google
I
real
think
quick,
maybe
and
this
I
will
want
make
you to
it
look at deficit spending
No,
by
we're-
U.S.
no, I'm gonna look
deficit
at
spending
tax
by
rates.
year. No. Just
The revenue.
because we haven't looked at this yet. Because deficit spending is going to take your tax revenue and your spending, and you're going to look at that. And at the end of the year, you want to be as close to zero as possible. The further you are away from zero in the negative is worse. The closer you are to zero, the better. And I want you to look at tax revenue by year. And I want you to compare the distance between zero and the deficit spending. And I want you to look at the Trump years and the Biden years, and I want you to compare the Obama years. And you will
Because
see
spending was different.
that under Obama,
I just want to
deficit
talk about the
spending-
one side of the coin.
Okay, but I just
Because-
want to know,
Hold on,
just so
we're
that
doing
people are
a
here.
15-minute call. Just 15 minutes left.
Just out of good faith, when you're looking at this, and you can say it out loud, and then you can make your point. I just want you to tell the audience who isn't looking at this. If you look at the Obama years, is deficit spending moving closer to zero or further away from zero? Year over year.
Year over year. So
And we're looking at deficit spending, right?
Further.
It's getting closer to zero, right? What years are you looking at?
No, I'm saying it's getting worse because we're
It's
not
always getting worse. It's always moving away from zero, but we're looking at the amount of deficit spending, the percentage of deficit spending. Right? So
I'm looking at the
amount,
surplus or deficit.
like yes, the amount
By
the amount
fiscal
of
year,
deficit, is it big, is it closer
It's getting
by
worse.
percentage. By percentage, it's getting closer to zero, right? So, for example, let me give you some years of deficit spending. So, deficit spending in 2009, Obama gets into office. Deficit spending is $1.42 trillion. Now, some of that's stimulus. Fair enough, right? The next year, deficit spending, our total deficit, is $1.29 trillion. So, deficit spending from 2009 to 2010 went down, right? From 1.4 to 1.29. And it basically is level the next year at 1.3. Then you go to 2012 and deficit spending is at 1.09 trillion. down from 1.42, 1.29, 1.3.
And
Then if you go to 2013, it's 0.68 trillion.
And then
2014,
0.48.
it's 0.48. Yes, do you see the trend that I am talking about here? And then
Yes.
what happens in 2017?
In 2017, 0.67.
And what's in 2018?
And that's fiscal year 2017, which Obama was president for a
No. He was 2016.
No, not this. This is fiscal year. This is where y'all get it confused, and I love to bring this up.
And then
Obama was
we're
president.
looking at 2018. What did it grow from 2017 to 2018?
It went from 0.67 to 0.78.
Okay, and then the tax cuts hit. And what did it go to? From 0.78 to what?
To 0.98.
And so it grew. So we were trending down.
Yes.
And we increased deficit
absolutely.
spending after the tax cuts, right?
Yeah, but you're
you.
correlating and causation. That's one side of the deficit coin. Right,
The
deficits
other-
are outlays. So if everything, what I'm talking about is if all.
But you said, wait, hold on.
We're talking about spending.
Wait,
right?
hold on.
I'm not. That's
This
a separate.
doesn't make sense.
That would be
Because
like
you
me.
said
Hold on, real quick.
if
Respectfully. That would
deficit
be like me
spending goes
saying-
up, but
Hold on.
revenues go up, that means that the Republicans, from
that's-
2017
no,
on, not only were they bringing, we both agree that
You're not
revenues went up. How did
Yes.
revenues go up? But deficit spending also went up.
Yeah, because they kept spending more.
Exactly.
But it wasn't because they kept taxes.
That means when you look at these charts, deficit spending over the Obama years is way down. It went from 1.42 trillion in deficit spending to his final year of 0.67. He cut it more than in half.
And look at the
Donald
fucking
Trump
interest- yeah, the guy
Donald
had-
Trump
hold on, the guy had no
increased
interest.
it.
Hold on. The guy had no fucking interest rate for basically 8 years, and then they finally had to They finally had to kick in the fucking interest rates, right?
What else did they have at the very top? What else did they do? There was one other thing they did to the top marginal tax rate.
They increased the top marginal tax.
Yeah. Imagine that. That the people that pay all the
Well,
taxes,
what
you
happened to
brought
the-
this up earlier.
What happened to the revenue?
The top 10%, the revenue was great. It was increasing every year.
What was the income tax revenue on that top percentage? You know that under Trump's
I
tax
think it was
cuts, the top 1%
I think
pay
it
a
was
larger share now?
37%.
Hold on. You know that the under Trump's tax cuts, the top 1% pay a larger share of the total tax pool than under
Yes,
Obama?
because they have more of the money. Because these tax cuts funnel more money into their pockets. So they get more money. They get all this benefit from the tax cuts, and they make all this extra money. And then the government says, "Hey, by the way, we're going to take a smaller. We're going to rig this whole system for you guys to get more money. Then we're going to take a smaller percentage of it. Oh, and by the way,
They make
since
20%
real
of
quick,
the
Spencer.
income
Spencer, here's
and-
one
and pay
important part.
45% of the tax.
Spencer, here's
Come
one
on.
important part. Just let me finish this story, and then I'll let you go. So they cut the wealthy's tax rate. So the wealthy make way more money. Then
No,
they
they
pay.
don't.
Yes, they do. Their net worth and
20% of the country's
their
income.
revenues. Excuse me, Spencer. I just said let me finish this, and then
Yeah, my
you can
bad.
rebut. The amount of money that rich people made went up, and we cut their tax rate. On top of that, the wealthiest in this country, people like Elon Musk, people who saw the largest increases in history in wealth gains, they also are allowed to they gobble up U.S. treasuries. So not only do we go into more deficit spending because we're not going to tax them at a higher rate, but then they buy treasury bonds from us and we pay them interest on the debt that we are incurring because we won't tax them at an appropriate rate. It is the most rigged fucking game I've ever seen. And it is so blatant when you look at charts that it's entirely rigged. There is no good argument for not taxing rich people more money or spending less.
Because they already pay all the fucking tax.
Because they have all the
I'm not paying
money.
any more fucking
Because they
money.
have all the money.
I don't
That's
care.
why they pay
I don't
more in
care.
taxes. It's a rate.
It's just, listen, if
This
people
is
want to start,
basic finances, bud.
yeah, it's, let's rob from other people when half the fucking
Well, let's
country
just, Spencer,
doesn't
let's
put
say
in a
that there's
penny.
5 of us. Or let's say there's 10 of us. We all live in a city, okay? And we all decide that we're going to share expenses for the
Yeah,
farm.
so 9 people jump the one guy and fucking.
And so we all
That's what
decide that
doing.
we're all gonna, and let's say just for math's sake, the upkeep of is $200. So that's, I said 20 people, that's $10 a person, right? It's $10 a person. And we have a limited sake, the upkeep of the park is and one person out of the 20 people, 2 people out of the 20 people make 90% of the money.
They don't. That's your flaw in your argument. They only
Listen, brother. You haven't heard the rest of the argument, right?
Yeah, but
so let's just say,
okay,
because if we're talking about wealth, let's just say
we're not taxed on wealth. We're taxed on
excuse
income.
me. I know, and that's part of the
argument,
and that's part of the problem that we don't tax people on wealth. But
yes,
let's just say that they have all of the benefit. They have interest-free loans. They don't actually even pay a top marginal tax break. The only way that they're actually paying taxes are on these minimal things that we can get them for. Do you think rather than saying to everybody, you all have to pay the exact same amount, maybe we should say, hey, if we're going to have a system where you can make 14,000 times more than the person working for you, maybe you have to pay more in taxes.
So I'll give you an olive branch. I think it's stupid to just raise the marginal rate. How about we make S blocks illegal? The problem that most people don't even fucking realize is that
Spencer,
the wealth isn't taxed.
Spencer, before I will consider this argument, because I agree with you, there are a lot of things we can do. What's incredibly frustrating about debating you right now is that there is clear evidence that the top tax rate is too low. And I've shown you. Please, Spencer, please,
on a morality issue.
Please. I don't give a fuck about morality when it comes to taxes. So if you want to say that you're morally opposed to it, that's fine. I can accept that argument. If you're morally opposed to rich people paying more taxes, fine. But I'm making a mathematically sound argument that when we tax rich people in this country more, it is far better for everybody. And guess what? The rich are still very rich. When we had the greatest middle class in the history of the world, the top marginal tax rate was around between 70 and 90%. The effective rate was around 50%.
No, it was actually much lower.
The effective rate in the 40s and the 50s was around 50-something%.
I'll send you some studies on the back end, but that's actually just not accurate. It was actually effectively lower because of all the cheating.
Was it 0%? Because right now it's 0% for a lot of these people.
The 0.1% because
was it ever 0% for the top 1%?
No.
Okay, so again, don't make arguments that don't make sense. Whatever the effective rate is, it was substantially higher than the effective rate. It was substantially higher than the effective rate now, right?
No, it wasn't. No, that's the problem. It fucking just wasn't. Nobody paid that. I don't know where this big number good, nobody fucking paid 90%, nobody paid 70%, it just wasn't a fucking thing. People were cheating on their taxes.
I didn't say, I said the marginal tax rate
was
saying 70%, and you're saying that the effective rate was, okay. The top marginal tax rate in the 1950s was 91% and 92%.
And nobody paid
the top earners paid an effective fucking federal income tax rate of between 42 and 45%. Their effective rate is 15%. Give me a study then.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm looking at this is from the Tax Foundation. The effective rate was 42 to 45%, which is higher than the top marginal tax rate now. Jen, if you need to cut the recording, you can. I'll stay.
And that's, there's other people. It's been going for a long time. It's not just cutting the recording.
Do you have any source that says that the top marginal tax rate was 3%, or the effective rate?
I want to say it was Zuckman.
Who?
The people who did the report. I'm trying to find it on my stuff. I'll find it.
I've got multiple sources now that are all saying between anywhere from 40 to 55%.
Well, a deal is a deal, Amanda. So
it's okay. Between 50 and 59, the top 1% of taxpayers paid an average of 42% of their income in federal, state, and local. That's counting all.
That's effective tax. The effective rate's 42%.
Hold on. That's counting everything.
Yes, but it's 42%.
2014 paid 36.4%.
No, that's the top. No, that's the top tax bracket.
Yeah, yes, who pays all the taxes? So we're looking at the top rate.
No, you're looking at their marginal rate, not their effective rate. What was the effect? What year did you say?
I'm looking at effective. Between 1950 and 1959, the top 1% paid 42% of their income in every possible fucking tax.
In an effect, yeah, that's good. They're nowhere near that. You think the top 1% is paying 42% effective rate right now?
In 2014, it was 36.4, so it was already
What is
lower.
it in 2017 or 2020?
Let me see here.
Because you're looking at Obama's policy. And now here's a good option. So you said under Obama it was at 36%?
I think it went to 39%.
Okay, so in 2020, for the individual, this is just income tax, the top 1% had an effective rate of 26%. So that is an effective rate of nearly of 20%. That's a 20-point swing.
Or what was it? What would you say? What was the margin? The effective rate?
Effective rate is 26% in 2020. That might be a bad year, actually. That's COVID. Let me pick like 2023, something closer. I didn't think about that when it was COVID.
It's fine. I mean, shit.
25%. Yeah, about the same. So it's down 20%. The effective rate that the rich were paying when our middle class was at its best is down 20%. So if we have a statistical model that grows the middle class, and fuck, you can go look at China right now and look at that. Where is their growth happening? It's in their middle class. Why? Because they have really high taxes and they invest in infrastructure, and more importantly, employers are forced because people own their own labor a little bit more than they do here. Employers are forced to pay people more to support and buoy up the middle class. I promise you, I've looked at this every way possible. I want to pay the least amount of taxes possible, but there is just no fucking argument for cutting taxes for rich people unless you're going to cut expenses, which we're not doing.
I think you got to do both.
You do have to do both, but our party, Democrats.
Your party just wants to.
But again, wait. Let me finish. Just let me finish. Under Democrats' tax policy, we have seen deficit spending closer to zero, and it goes higher under Republicans. So I'm just saying they're both bad, but one is clearly worse. It's Republicans, and it's really not very close.
I don't like the comparison, but I say, you know what? Anything that like expedites this system to crash, I'm all for it. So raise taxes.
Well, that I actually think is the one legitimate reason I think you should support Trump, is that he's going to fuck this whole thing over. And there is no trajectory where this works. And it's now about how much damage is going to be inflicted before somebody else gets in there. And I think that you are going to, I think any candidate right now that runs on universal health care and strengthening Social Security and Medicaid, anybody that runs on that is going to win in a landslide.
How? We can't even afford to pay this shit.
Listen, I know that you like reading, and I appreciate that about you. I'm going to give you some homework. Go read Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All. It explains in Medicare for All how it is paid for. It is revenue neutral. It's paid for by expanding some existing taxes, adding some other taxes, things that you'll like a speculation tax on Wall Street, which is brilliant. Like a 1% speculation tax, it would pay for like a massive amount of universal health care.
It's not a VAT tax.
I'm just saying, just go read it. Go look at it. It's revenue neutral. He's gone.
You gave him his homework, so.
There we go.
And then there's someone who's been wanting to speak with you, Jay, and I think it's only fair to let them.
Fuck. It's Cam, isn't it?
No, it's not Cam.
Okay.
Hi, Jet. Hi there, RTP. How are you?
What's up, Oslo?
I'm just a big fan. Like, I really think you have a nicely groomed mustache, and I'm really
Don't make fun of my mustache.
No, it's very nice. I'm not making. It's very nice.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I listen to your show every day, and I like I make my oatmeal in the morning, and I'm learning stuff. It's good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. Are you related to Elmo?
Am I really? Well, my lawyers say strictly I have to say no.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's not a good time.
Yeah, because Sesame Street's owned by Netflix, and they're very litigious.
Is Sesame Street owned by Netflix now? They own that shit now?
Yeah, thanks to Republicans.
Is this true? I have no idea if it's true.
Yeah, us public characters, we have to come to TikTok now to make money.
You lost your protection? You guys are all free agents now?
Yeah, we have to come. Yeah, we have to come on here and ask for galaxies and stuff.
Holy shit, you weren't lying about Netflix. I thought you were lying about that.
No, that's true. Netflix bought them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I'm just, my name is Oslo.
Nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. Everybody loves you.
I like to
Great
meet
work.
MAGA where they're at their reading level. So, pretty good. I have what I call the Sessamocratic method. Asking them questions seems to really stump them sometimes.
That's a hell of a method.
Sessamocratic.
Yeah, the Sessamocratic method, yeah.
All right.
I love you. You are even better than they describe you. You're wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a lot of friends.
Yeah, that you do. You have a lot of people that love you. I get it now.
Yeah, I sing songs and stuff. Like, I like to help MAGA learn how to count to 34.
So is it 1, 2?
It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, time felon.
So
That's
good.
awesome. That is
Do you
awesome.
do you find that they're able to follow along with that, or do you kind of have to work
No,
out?
they get really bored after like 4.
Wow.
Once they can't count on their fingers, I think they stop paying attention.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. All right.
You're unbelievable. I'm so glad I met you.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan.
So you're
Well,
not
actually, I'm a little monster, but you know.
No, this is what a great way to cleanse the palate after that. This is terrific.
And we've told him he couldn't request a few times because he was in opposition, so I thought we could let him wrap it up at the end. So
I will debate you on pizza toppings, I think.
We should talk offline. Maybe we could do some content together.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
I love everything you're doing. This is
But only if you're
phenomenal.
pro-choice for pizza toppings. I don't want anybody gatekeeping my pineapple.
Can I just listen? I've got exactly one problem with pizza toppings and just a topping in general, and I don't think it's popular. Olives. I don't know. I don't understand why olives exist. I have a very Andrew Wilson approach to olives. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, well, you don't have to have it. I'm pro-choice.
Thank
Don't
you. I
stop me
appreciate
from eating
that.
olives.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. I'm cool with pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, look, I said pro-choice. You can eat what you want. I'll eat what I want.
What about on thin pizza? I find that pineapple on thin pizza not very good. But if you're gonna do like a little bit thicker crust, then I like some pineapple.
Once again,
that's a valid point.
I'm just wondering what your thoughts are there. Like if you were gonna get pizza.
Yeah, maybe it's like too wet or something on a thin crust. I could see that.
Thank you. I like you. I like the cut of your jib.
No, thank you very much. I use Garnier Fructis.
Wow.
You just shine? You guys jealous of me? Come on.
You do have shiny locks there. It does look good.
Thank you very much.
Never too wet, huh?
How's that the part you got? Admir got focused on that. God damn it, Admir.
Just saying.
He's still MAGA sometimes. He comes out.
Wait.
I heard what?
I
heard
know
what,
how to
I stopped
count.
listening.
I like you.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's talk
like
again.
that.
This was an absolute pleasure. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think I was going to like. I didn't think I was going to like you. I usually. You are wonderful. You're my favorite new friend. By far.
Well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh fuck, Admir, you should be thankful that anyone's your friend. You shouldn't be surprised that people are.
Damn. Hey, Admir, what was on the menu tonight?
Admir's choking on whatever he was eating. So
Oh, that kind of hurt. Well, actually, I had Cajun pasta, and then I had it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're little bitty ones. They're like 2-biters. They're they call them like little sliders.
See what I'm saying, RTP? He stopped before he got to 10.
You forgot what he was even talking about.
He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter.
He knew there were 2 bites.
Oh man, where the hell have you been before?
Well, I've only been on
Great.
TikTok for a couple of months.
I guess we should have checked
Oh.
your age before you came up. Hopefully, I don't know if there's like a different. Do you identify as a puppet? How do we?
I'm a puppet?
Uh-oh.
You're giving me an existential crisis over here.
Sorry. No, sorry. I'm sorry.
I thought it was a red monster.
No, you're not. You're not a monster.
No, I mean, I don't know. I guess I am a kind of a puppet. I think I'm a kinky puppet because I can't even function without somebody's hand all the way up, you know?
Listen, same.
Would that be
same? It's a real problem.
Would that be the same? Also, would that be the same as pegging?
Oh God, here we go again. There's Admir. No, Admir, that's not the same thing.
I actually I do want to start an adult company that's politically themed. Like we can make flashlights that shaped like couches. But I want to make one thing called Pete Pegseth.
Oh shit! All right. Fun fact, Oslo. I don't know if you were aware. There's an actual law in Texas that you can't have more than 6 toys in a house. Did you know that?
What is going on?
I thought everything was bigger. Well, maybe it's because everything's bigger in Texas.
That could be it.
That could be
They all
it.
need 6 toys won't fit in your house. It's a zoning problem.
I'm so glad I don't live in Texas.
I think they're probably glad you're not there either. That's a weird piece of trivia you just pulled out there. It is bizarre that you know that.
I'm just saying. You gotta be informative.
Yeah, check the hard drives.
All right. Well, look, we'll. This is the best possible ending. This some would call this a happy ending.
Awesome.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you guys.
Nice to meet you. We'll see you.
Bye.
Thank you very much for coming up.
I don't know how to do. Can you guys drop me? I don't know. My fingers are kind of.
Gotcha.
That was unbelievable.
That sounds like me. Can you please drop me? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I don't think Oslo's 400 gummies in or edibles in. So.
Whatever.
All right. Well, we will. Amanda, you're going live tomorrow?
Yeah.
At what?
Yeah.
8 p.m.
8 Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern.
We'll be live, but not on TikTok because Jay likes to say things that get us banned. So
that wasn't my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was probably the guest. Wasn't that the guest's fault?
I don't know. You like to say a lot of words that you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, but just based on what we got banned for, it seems.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean,
maybe it was you. I don't know why I always have to.
Well, I say this, but but we'll be on Twitch and YouTube. So
Sorry, everybody. I love you.
9:30 to 1 Pacific for us. So.
I feel bad about it.
Oh well. You'll get over it.
All right. Well, night, kids.
All right. Love you
As
guys.
usual, thank you and stay safe.